What up, everybody?
I need to
What
check my
up?
notifications.
Yeah, let's see if the notifications are coming in. Happy Friday to everybody. I want to see
I ain't been
something.
getting them.
You ain't been getting them?
Like when you upload, like when you be chopping and screwing the videos, that's what I call it. I call it the DJ screw when you chop up the video and you screw it up. I call it the DJ screw. I was like, when Mike chops and screws the videos, I get those alerts, but I haven't been getting the alerts for the live shows for like the last 3 or 4. And it's like, well, am I not a member of this platform anymore?
Well, let's
Because I've
see.
been elevated to a status
Let's
where I
see
don't
what's
get
going
notifications.
on. Well, you got people coming in. Are y'all getting the notifications? Because I turned my phone off. You know what I'm saying? I think people are getting their notifications. Coming on in the room, coming on in the room. I want to go ahead and make sure that we get everything that we need in the room so we can get the discussion started. How's your Friday going, Coop?
When I left California roughly 15 years ago, it'll be closer to 16 now.
Mm-hmm.
Before my daughter was born, I left for 3 reasons. The first reason was my ex-wife was pregnant with our daughter, who is now 15 going on 16. Second reason is tied to the first reason, the cost of living. Okay, so what I'm paying for a house is what I was paying for a one-bedroom apartment 15 years ago in Orange County, California. But number 3 is the traffic. And number 2 and number 3 are becoming extremely problematic here in Atlanta. Cost of living and traffic is turning very California-esque. And I'm going to tell you something. This place doesn't have the marijuana, the women, or the water to be charging these type of prices or having this type of traffic and think that niggas like me is about to stay. I'm not staying here for
Well,
this.
the cost of living's crazy everywhere. I mean, y'all,
I'm not staying here for
yeah.
this. I go to California. If I want to deal with psycho cost of living, though, I'm going to go somewhere where literally there are hundreds of beaches at my disposal
Well,
daily.
it's even
There are
higher
hundreds
there,
of
though.
dispensaries at my disposal daily.
But it's even higher there. Gotta get the
I will
wood
pay
prices
the
and
boss out there, though. I paid it once.
it's different. It's
different.
higher
I
than what it
know.
was.
I know
It's
it's
higher than
different,
what it
but
was.
what I'm saying
Look,
is
those
that
tariffs and those sanctions on other countries and stuff that our leaders in Washington are making decisions on, yeah, they hit everybody's pockets.
I'm going to tell you what. You know the
The
number
cost
one
of
thing.
wood and lumber and all that stuff.
That's that bullshit. First of all,
It is what
that's
it
that
is.
bullshit.
Gas prices are gonna affect everything because everything
that
that we
bullshit.
receive comes from a truck, right? Those things take gasoline.
That's chain supply. Are you talking about the chain supply? Or are you talking about the actual transaction of the movement of it? Like what you
The
talking?
movement
You
of
talking about?
everything.
So this is what I mean about paying the cost to be the boss. It's like, okay, so if resources and finances are going to be dilapidated to a degree because of the games that we play, then let it be where the players play. Going back to Cali, strictly for the weather, women, and the weed, sticky green, no seeds, bitch, please. I know he wrote that. I know he wrote that because I lived that. I know he wrote that because I lived that. That's real.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Cali
speaking of
got
which,
gun,
man, Wiz put out an album today. We're gonna talk
Cali
about
got
that.
gunplay. Models on the runway.
Man, we
That's
got
all I'm
100
saying.
people in the room. Yo, real quick, I wanted to share this conspiracy theory I have as it concerns with Carmelo Anthony. You see these memes going around all the time about people comparing Melo's rookie year to LeBron's rookie year and how Melo got robbed for rookie of the year. Now, what I'm about to say has nothing to do with LeBron, so I don't want the LeBron fans to, come at me because, I think LeBron's an incredible talent and was going to be who he was anyway. But I think there was an effort, a concerted effort by the league possibly to not have Carmelo Anthony play for the Detroit Pistons. Because if Carmelo Anthony coming out of Syracuse, coming from that championship, and Detroit drafts him as they should have, and there's no justification for them not drafting him. He's Magic Johnson. No, really. He's a person going into a championship situation who's coming off of a NCAA championship and who was effective immediately. Because we don't talk about the fact that that Nuggets team that he got drafted to was in the West.
Was a playoff team.
They were not a playoff team, Coop. They won 17 games before they drafted this man.
No. I'm saying with him.
Okay.
Didn't they make the playoffs the second year?
No, first year. In the West.
I thought it was the second year.
No,
first
they were
year in the West.
They were
I felt like that
eighth
was the
seed.
second year that happened. Okay.
No, they were eighth seed.
Okay.
So they
I'm
went
listening.
from 17 games to winning, 43 games, I believe?
I thought it was like 41, 42, yeah.
Something like that. They were eighth seed in the West. And I know I checked. If they were in the East, that team would have been a fourth seed in the East at that time. So
Which
we're talking about
been ahead of hold on. Actually, I think that was the thing that I remember. I believe him and Dwayne Wade's teams, I believe the Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets had comparable records their rookie years. But Wade was in the East and got a better seed and ended up hitting a game-winning shot.
Yeah.
But people were talking about, well, the seeding was better because he was in the East and Melo was in the West. Yeah.
Imagine.
Affirmative.
Imagine if that Melo goes to the Detroit Pistons. He's winning a championship early. So already, again, I had to bring LeBron into this, but already he's credentialized as a champion on a collegiate level and on the NBA level early. That puts LeBron behind the eight ball in comparison to the two. Not to mention, he's going to have to deal with Detroit and Melo in the East.
I'll give you something even greater than that. That actually changes Dwayne Wade's legacy too, because I feel like how about that? Hold on. Was the Carmelo draft the year after they won the championship or the year after they lost to the Spurs? Because they went to the finals the very next year. Which year is that?
Are you talking about Miami?
No. I'm saying the year they drafted Carmelo.
Uh-huh.
Was that the year they won, or was that the year that they lost to the Spurs? Because they went back to back. They won the Eastern Conference 2 straight years.
I think they won
Seven
that
conference
year.
finals, 2 finals appearances.
No, so you know what? No. I think because this was 2003. And so, I think it was the year they won because LA won in 2000, 2001, 2002.
2002. This is
So they
draft,
did.
Right?
They won 2003, actually. Yeah.
Right.
And this
is the year after they won. So here's what I'll tell you. If Carmelo's on that team, everybody's legacy is different because here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Will they play the Spurs? Well, that doesn't go game 7, and Rasheed Wallace doesn't make that epic fucking mistake about leaving Robert Horry open like that. Now, does he?
No.
Because Carmelo actually would have been the one on Robert Horry, and Rasheed Wallace would have been right where he was supposed to be the whole fucking time. You belong on Tim Duncan for the entirety of the series. Whoever the fuck told Rasheed Wallace at any point during the series against the San Antonio Spurs to pay attention to anybody other than Tim Duncan's a fucking idiot. Okay? That was my problem with that series. It's like, why the fuck is he going anywhere else? There's nowhere else for you to go, nigga. That's Tim Duncan in his prime. You don't go anywhere else. So they win that championship. The next year is when Miami Heat and Dwayne Wade and Shaq win the championship. They're not beating that Pistons team either. So you can take a ring off Tim Duncan. You can take a ring off Shaq. You can take a ring off Wade.
And so Melo gets 2 early. And he not only gets that, he gets the experience of playing with somebody like a Larry Brown, playing with Chauncey Billups. So a lot of the things that they knocked Melo for, he wouldn't even have as a player. He would have all kind of leadership qualities.
Well, this is the next thing. Here's what I'm about to tell you is that he might fuck up KG and Kobe's legacy too, because Melo really hit his stride about his 3rd or 4th year. So when those guys are getting old, he's becoming the man. Do you think that Detroit team and Boston team is going 7 games? Because I do. That's a toss-up. You think them Lakers teams and that Detroit team is a toss-up in 2008? You think they're beating Orlando? Fuck yeah, they beating Orlando. Kobe's playing that Detroit team in the 2008 final. Ain't no 4-2 against that team. You ain't 4-2 in that team with Carmelo in his prime and them niggas sitting around there.
Inspector said Atlanta can't justify these prices. Definitely not. And I'm sure everybody around
there's
the nation
no water,
that.
Mike. There's no fucking water around here.
Nah.
Well, even New York got water, Mike. Chicago got water.
Yep.
Cali got water.
You know what? This is the thing,
even
too, man.
Texas and New Orleans got the fucking Gulf. Texas and New Orleans at least got the Gulf. Ain't no fucking water, Mike. They charging this.
What I was going to say, man, I don't believe that this was just singularly on Joe Dumars to pick to pick Darko Milicic over Carmelo Anthony. management, not even management, the owners. Let's just be real. Let's just say you and I
Mismanagement?
yeah, that is management, high management. Let's just say you and I own the team, right? And our GM comes to us and say, you know what? I'm drafting Darko Milicic over Carmelo Anthony. We got to sign off on that.
No, Mike. No, we don't.
We're not going to sign off on that. That's what I'm saying. Joe Dumars, being the legend he is, would never even come to ownership with some bullshit like that.
We're going to have a company party, Mike. We're going to serve the owner about 7 shots in Macallan 25 year. We're going to conveniently push his ass down the steps. He's not going to remember anything. We're drafting Carmelo after that happens. We hope that he recovers well. Is he coming out of his coma? Is he coming out of the coma? That's cool. We drafted Carmelo while you were asleep, nigga.
I'm saying that pick didn't come from Joe Dumars. That pick came from ownership. I think that the fact that Melo ends up in the West
I think it's even
out of LeBron's way.
I think that came from the league. That's what I was about to say. I think that came from the league.
I'm with you.
Because think about this. Think about this. We got the best draft since '84, and Carmelo, Bosh, Wade, and LeBron all about to be in the East. You think the NBA is okay with that? These are all Hall of Fame. These are all people that are considered to be Hall of Fame caliber players before they're coming out. You understand?
Exactly.
How did Darko even get in that mix?
Yep.
Like, people have to understand, here's what I mean by how did Darko get into that mix. People forget. Dwayne Wade is the one that crept into that mix. Chris Bosh, Carmelo, and LeBron were sure things. You remember Bosh down here at Georgia Tech?
Mm-hmm. No, Bosh was the real deal.
Bosh was the second best player in college basketball next to Carmelo for the majority of the year till Wade popped up in the tournament.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. Wade showed himself in the tournament.
Wade didn't show himself to the tournament, but when he flashed hard. We was all like, who the fuck is that?
Flashed. Jay Shaw with the super chat says, before y'all get into it, what do y'all think the top 3 to 5 posse cuts are? Why do you think they don't do them anymore? Peace, guys. What up, Jay Short on the West Coast? What do you think the 3 to 5 strongest hip-hop posse cuts are?
I'm a legacy guy, so it's hard to keep the symphony off of there. It's Master Ace, Craig G, Cool G Rap, and Big Daddy Kane. So when you say posse cut...
And it still sounds very good today.
Yes. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, no.
I love Kane's verse, personally.
I mean, Marley gives the slice. I get nice, and I'm twice as horrifying as Vincent Price. Yeah, G-Rap and Kane on there, stick a quarter in your ass because you played yourself. No, G-Rap and Kane on there are who we thought they were, Mike.
Kane was just so cool on there, man. Like
the level is high. It's like, I mean, you have to understand, like, MCing in '88, it's like, well, you're not going to get MCing like that on a song outside of KRS and Rakim if you're not, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would say the symphony. I'm not as big a fan of the Scenario remix as everybody else.
What about the regular one? No?
I love them both, but what if I told you the Flavor in Your Ear remix is a better posse cut?
I figured you were going to come with the Flavor in Your Ear remix. I'm not mad at that. Let me ask you this, though, because I see a lot of...
Smalls is the illest, Mike.
I see a lot of great posse cuts in the actual chat. I think Benjamin's has to be there.
That's actually something I want to see. I want to see what these motherfuckers say.
But I want to ask you, though, what do you look for in a posse cut? Do you look for the best bar-for-bar work on a posse cut? Or do you look for the best song? Because, honestly, and I love Tribe. You know how I feel about Tribe. Scenario's not really about the bar work per se.
It's not. That's what I mean, Mike. It's dope.
It's just a great song,
Right.
But
how about this? The No Cursing, the Heavy D posse cut that got Cool G Rap and Kane on it too. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a symphony, but G Raps and Kane's bar work isn't as great, even though they're not cursing. It's cool to hear Cool G Rap not curse.
Oh, somebody came for me with the Beyonce take, and I want to get the people on that too. Kedro says, Mike D's looking like Max Kellerman with the Tom Brady going off the cliff with the Beyonce take. Her album bumps. Is that what people are saying? You know what? I haven't fully...
That's what we're saying. Let's get to one conversation.
We're going to get to that. I love that take, though, because when I heard one of the songs on the album, I think it was the one that Raphael Sadiq was a part of, and what's his name from Chic? I'm tripping. You know, I'm talking about the bass player.
One of them El DeBarge ass niggas?
No.
Oh, okay.
It'll come to me in a second. They're probably going to tell me in the chat anyway. But yeah, that record's really dope. But as a whole, I mean, I haven't really totally listened to the whole thing, but it's better than I expected. I think that she put out the wrong first single, though, and I think anybody would admit that. Mr. Mill with the super chat says, what do you think of the new industry favorite, Questlove, pushing Beyonce hard? First, he said Break Your Soul will be Song of the Summer. Now he's saying her new album is her off-the-wall moment. Leroy Green laying.
He said what?
Yo, listen. I'm going to say this
What'd he say?
respectfully.
What'd he say? He said this her off-the-wall moment.
He said the Break My Soul song. Listen, man.
Okay. The mushrooms he were doing had him off the wall. That's what happened to him. The mushrooms he was doing
I
had him
say
off
this
the wall.
respectfully.
I haven't even heard the album, and you better stop that talk. See how niggas be talking now that Mike's not here? You was not talking this way when Mike was here, nigga. You was not.
I don't like that, man. I don't like
You was not talking compared. You wasn't nobody talking. Mike, I didn't hear anybody talking about Michael Jackson's off the wall with any sort of comparison outside of Prince or Stevie Wonder until Michael Jackson died. What about you?
I'm speechless, man.
And barely even that.
This is what I want to say.
That nigga whack. Hush.
See, you a Roots fan, and I'm a Roots fan too, but you're a bigger Roots fan than I am. This is what I'm gonna say.
Be quiet. This is what I'm talking about.
This is what I'm gonna say. Respectfully.
He's the drum player on Baduism too. Like he's on Baduism and Mama's Gun. He's all over all my favorite shit. I don't care, nigga. Shut up.
Questlove, I'm gonna say this respectfully. Questlove is super boule, and I don't expect him to say anything outside of anything that's agenda driven and mainstream narrative. It is what it is. I understand that. I understand that with your wardrobe, you try to look like the everyday man, but clearly, everything you say is agenda driven and pushing whatever is supposed to be said from the higher brass. That's how I feel. But again, that's when you got to separate the individual from the music and all that stuff. You know. It's unfortunate that you're saying stuff like that. But,
how can you be talking like this? Like, nigga, you know better.
They know better, but they do the opposite. Ray Reynolds with the super chat.
These dudes know music. You understand? I get more upset about the guys that I know that know music and have contributed to classic works of music. Like, he's not just part of Root shit. He's part of D'Angelo shit, Jill shit, Erica shit. It's like, no, nigga, you know better. You know all they shit put together ain't better than Off the Wall. What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know what to say. Ray Reynolds with the super chat says,
I know what to say, nigga, be quiet.
The only reason the Darko was high was due to the league chasing after the next Dirk. That's fine. But
I don't think did Dirk have it like that yet?
Right. I don't think
Dirk had it like that.
I think that's an excuse. Because again, when you look at the makeup of that Detroit team, they don't need the next Dirk Nowitzki. They need this guy that just took Syracuse from nothing to a national championship. This guy who's gone one-on-one with LeBron James in high school and is a comparable player and comparable talent at the time with the experience. Mr. Mills said it was a typo. I meant Payne earlier. LOL. Yeah, no. I can believe that Questlove is hyping up this whole movement. I wouldn't expect anything less. Sean with the super chat says the draft with Allen Iverson 96-97 is the second best draft all time, guys.
No, it's third. It's third.
Peace. Third?
It's third.
You got the 03 draft over it?
Yeah, because Wade and LeBron are easy top 25 all-time players. Some people would have Iverson outside of the 25, and there's Kobe right there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But they got drafted a little late. So you got the Barkley Jordan
97 draft?
Huh?
Is Nash 96, 97? Is Nash in the draft?
He is. Yeah, he's far back.
No, I mean, so no. I mean, you got Nash, you got
still
Pierce,
a great time.
Nash, Pierce, Kobe, Iverson, Wade, LeBron, Carmelo, Bosh. What you think? Because those are the four, right?
I'm going with the 03 draft over
Me too.
that one. And I guess the other draft that you have is
Wade's the best primetime performer of everybody that's in that group, and the playoffs matter most.
And the other draft you got
LeBron's
is the
obviously
Stockton, Jordan, Olajuwon, Barkley draft.
Yeah, that's easy. That's
Okay.
easy. Akeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan are in the same draft. Conversation over. Like over.
And then you
Like
throw
1 and
in
3.
Stockton and
Yeah,
Barkley.
yeah. Fuck them. Olajuwon and Jordan got drafted 1 and 3. Mike, like that shit's over.
Mad Max, hold on. Mad Max got a super chat.
They're
He
better,
said,
Mike. They're better than everybody that we just named outside of LeBron. Those two guys.
You're right. Mad Max with the super chat. He said, Mike, don't let them gas it. That Beyonce album was all right. It wasn't great. Okay. I want to ask the people.
Sticks and stems.
The people who have heard this album. We got 100-something people in the room. People who have heard this album. Is this album great, good, or just some mid? I should put a poll in the chat.
I want to get to the Posse Cut thing. I want to finish.
Finish the Posse Cut thing. I'm gonna put a poll in the chat about the about those little options I just did with the Beyonce. But yeah, go ahead with your Posse.
Right, no, because people is giving some good options. One thing I think I want to highlight. I think first of all we need to audit what a Posse Cut is. For me, a Posse Cut needs 4 members.
Okay, perfect.
Because 3 doesn't work for me. Because anybody like the 3 shit happens so much. You know what I'm saying? That's not a Posse Cut. Posse Cut is 4 or more. Is that fair?
No, that's fair.
I think the second thing we need to get to, Wu-Tang Clan don't count, Mike. That's just not fair to everybody else now, is it? Is it fair to count?
So you're not going to count Wu-Tang? They shouldn't be punished because they're a group.
Well, Mike,
yeah,
1, 2, 3,
this is
4,
what I would
5.
say. I wouldn't count them.
Put Wu-Tang Clan in, Mike. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, this is the thing. I wouldn't count Wu-Tang because they're actually. I think that Wu-Tang's the actual group. That's why I wouldn't count them. And the thing is, with the Posse Cut, and I think we might need to say this as well, 4 or more people on the record and people who aren't in a group together. Now, you could be in a clique together, but these aren't people who make albums together. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a big part of the whole mixture of what a Posse Cut is. It has to be people who don't make albums together. So, yes, Wu-Tang would be disqualified in that sense.
So plus it's not fair. So what I think is also too, no compilation Posse Cuts. Like the people putting self-destruction and like all in the same gang, all that.
Gotcha.
No, that don't count. That's too much. That's like the same, that's like Wu-Tang Clan. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Those are the We Are the World records. So, yeah, no, we're not counting the We Are the World records.
That's like, no We Are the World records. No hip-hop We Are the World records. Absolutely. Fuck
Michael Sanders with the super chat says, my wife is a huge Beyonce fan, and she said it's trash. Okay, keep going.
Now, some people are putting some things up, and this is what I mean. We need to start auditing it. Okay, like, first of all, for me, as much as I love some John Blaze, can we start being honest? After Nas and Pun's verse, there's a drop off. I love Jada. I love Ray. How many times have I come up here and loved Ray and loved Jada? Yeah. I don't love those Jada and Ray verses. That's not some of Jada and Ray's best bar work now, is it? Fat Joe's at the end of that song. So really, after Nas and Pun, that song drops off.
No, you're right.
Am I wrong?
I think we love the roster on paper.
The roster on paper. No. The song is great. Let's talk about performance. The people who performed at a high level were Nas and Pun. Well, this is the first 2 verses, and I told you Pun still has him on that.
Yeah.
So John Blaze isn't top 5 to me, although I love that record. Banned from TV. Once again, the same thing. It's like, well, Nature has the best verse of his career. Who else verse on there is like a super standout verse? Like, as much as we love Pun, and when we spit Pun shit, I don't hear nobody talking about Pun's verse from Banned from TV, because you want to know why? Because Pun got the verse from John Blaze. You feel me?
I like Banned from TV, but I agree. I think Banned from TV is slightly overstated. But my favorite moment on Banned from TV, personally, is Jada and Styles back and forth, man.
See, but here's the thing. Even when you go to their back and forth and what was the come of it, it's like, oh, well, they did so much better after that.
Yeah.
So I think you're looking from nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you some of the other stuff that I see on here that we can talk about. Now, I'm with them. First of all, only one I put in here so far is the Symphony. I'll take the Flavor in Your Ear remix and the I Shot You remix. Prodigy's verse.
Those are heavy.
Prodigy's verse. I told you. That's one of Prodigy's best verses. Keith Murray's verse on there.
Yeah.
Listen to the start.
LL's closeout verse. Foxy's verse.
First of all, I thought I conquered the world, crushed Mo D, Hammer, and Ice-T's Curl, but still, niggas want to instigate shit. No.
Nigga in the rap game quick.
That's one of Fat Joe's best verses.
It is. and he was the weakest link on there.
He was the weakest link on there, and he showed out.
Foxy showed out. Mad Max to the super chat says,
Brown on there. You know how I feel about Foxy on there. It's like I hadn't heard a chick rap like that with that type of delivery before. I hadn't heard nobody rap like that before there was a chick.
Mad Max to the super chat says, he says, by off the wall, they mean a big reach then. LOL, yeah.
Must have been.
Jay Short with the super chat says, Beyonce's catalog does not match her status. When was her last hit? Rihanna is her contemporary, and Beyonce don't want to see her in no verses. I've heard that before, too. I think Rihanna would actually beat her in the verses. JB was here. Says Ray Allen, 96 draft as well. Yes. Mad Max says, Wade's is not a better playoff performer than Kobe or LeBron.
Yes, he is.
Not Kobe. Not Kobe.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Wade?
Yeah.
You bugging. And I fuck with Wade.
Oh, yeah?
But no, Kobe, man. No. When Kobe, in those last couple of minutes, I remember just, as a person who wanted to see Boston win, some of those.
You're talking about the Indiana Pacers series.
No,
you're not talking about the Boston series. You're not talking about the Boston series. Game 7, he sucked. Kobe sucked.
Oh, no, that was like the only
Boston.
Off game he had, Coop. Come on, let's not do that.
No, I think he was off. He was off a whole series against Detroit where he shot 37%.
And you're talking about the series that they lost when they had a long-ass Tayshaun
I'm talking about him shooting 37% from the field when this nigga is 6'8" with that jump shot. Explain that.
He wasn't 6'8". He wasn't 6'8".
6'7"?
Kobe's 6'6", at least.
No, he's not. He's taller than Mike.
He wasn't.
He's an inch taller than Mike. He's Kobe. He's at least Scotty.
For the
type.
people in the chat, Google a picture of Michael Jordan and Kobe standing next to each other.
Right.
Well, Jordan was actually taller than him.
Go Google those stats from the 04 finals is what you need to do.
Mike 100 says, affirmative action's a posse cut. Man with the super chat says, World War II, the points. I like the points. That's the sleeper. Banned from TV scenario. I like the points.
Hey, look here. I love Kobe. Let's get a few things clear. He's got 5 rings. He was the sidekick for 3. Mm-hmm. And on ring number 5 in game 7, when it mattered most, he played horribly. So, no, he's not better.
You talking about You talking
horribly. He went 5 for 23 in a game 7 at home. They weren't in Boston Garden. He went 5 for 23 at home in game 7.
But what did he do the rest of that series? They're not in a game 7 without him playing the way he did.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about how like you're being convenient. First of all, if Kendrick Perkins doesn't tear his ACL, I don't even know if it goes to a game 7. Let's just get it straight.
I mean, we don't know. We just know what happened. I don't want to do that. And again, I was rooting for Boston.
Because people who watched that game remember LA won that game when they're rebounding because Kendrick Perkins wasn't there because Kobe was a brick house in the Staples Center in game 7. He wasn't in Boston Garden. You ain't never seen it. If that would have happened to LeBron, we would never hear the end of it.
Kobe went out there and got 17 boards too in that game. Eric Terrell with the super chat.
When you're missing that many shots, you better get your ass on the board.
He went out there and did
something. When your job is to shoot and you can't shoot, you better start fucking rebounding. He didn't play no defense in that game either.
Because he was tired. Because Ray was kind of locked up.
His defense subpar in those last 2 games. He was tired and old, but it's okay. I was watching those games. You can make it seem like he was like, no, y'all can make it seem like he was not Michael Jordan against the Utah Jazz.
Let's keep it a buck, though, Coop. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Since we're going to criticize in that way.
37%
this man,
against
Coop. Let's
in his prime.
Coop. Stop.
You're number 8. Coop. You're number 8, set 37%.
Can I go? Let's keep it a buck.
Please.
This guy was basically playing against 3 all-star contemporaries. It was just him. He was tired. He went out there and was chipping away at them that whole series and got them to a game 7.
Team, and they had home court advantage because they had the better record and the better team.
You know what?
Game 7 was played in the Staples Center.
Paper they did. They did on paper, but you know what Boston was doing back then? Boston was going out there. No, Coop. Boston was resting their guys in the regular season because they were older, because they knew that any slot that they could get in the East, they were going to win anyway. That's why their record was less than. It wasn't because they were the less than team. Boston was doing that for a minute in that era. They didn't care about winning regular season games because they knew. I'm going to
read out the LA Lakers front line that year to you. Lamar Odom, Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum, Kobe Bryant.
I ain't saying they was whack. They had a good team.
Hold on. That sounds like 4 All-Stars to me. Or did I miss that?
Okay, so if you want to rank those players, let's just say we're ranking the top 6 players.
Let's rank them that year.
Top 6 players. We got Kobe. Then next, I'm going KG. Then I'm going Paul Pierce. Then I'm going to go Gasol. Then I'm going to go Ray.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Okay.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Coop and Mike, I love your hip-hop takes, but can I get a quick top 3 or 5 soul R&B list, albums or artists?
Let's finish this posse cut list right quick. All about the Benjamins.
Okay.
The little Kim and Biggie verse.
Yep.
The little Kim and Biggie shit.
I can agree with that.
Right. All about the Benjamins. Actually, All About the Benjamins to me is actually better than Flavor in Your Ear.
It is.
Yeah.
The beat's crazy. It's a classic. The bars are there. It was a hit on top of that. I mean, really, All About the Benjamins could be considered hip-hop's greatest posse cut.
No, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
No, I'm cool with that. Think about this. No, Jadakiss, Chic.
And Chic had a legendary verse.
That's Chic's best verse, maybe.
Possibly.
His most notable verse.
And then
we want to get into the little Kim and Biggie shit. That's what I'm saying. That little Kim and Biggie shit ain't no posse cut. That's the best ending to a posse cut since the Symphony with G-Rap and Kane. That's what I'm saying. It's like they're like that.
Well, the other part of the question was, why don't we have posse cuts like that anymore? And I guess I would add on top of that, when was the last?
These niggas can't rap.
When was the last great posse cut in hip hop?
So Appalled.
There you go. What did you think about 6 Train from ASAP Rocky?
So Appalled.
Okay. All right. So the king of R&B to me is Marvin Gaye.
Or is he talking albums or is he talking artists? Top 3
he
artists?
He said both. But he said or. So I'm just going to put that out there. But top 3 R&B albums. We're going Stevie? Let's do them by
albums
decade.
Or artists?
Let's do them by decade. What's the best R&B album of the 70s?
Yeah, I'm about to say that. We going best R&B album catalog, best artist. Like, what are we doing? What's the framework?
What's the best R&B album of the 70s? What's Going On? Or is it Songs in the Key of Life? Is it Innovisions?
That I thought of when you said it. Like, off the top of my head, those were the 3 albums that I thought of. So what say you?
You know what? You cut out for a second. What were the 3 that you said?
No, the same that you said. Okay. Innovision, Songs in the Key of Life, and What's Going On. Yeah, same 3.
I'm going to have to go What's Going On. And I'm a Stevie guy.
What's Going On 1969, though?
No, What's Going On is like 71, 72, something like that.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Then yes.
All right.
Yes.
What's the best R&B album of the 80s?
I mean, we're going to have the same Purple Rain Thriller conversation probably.
Is Thriller an R&B album to people?
Actually, if you want to know the truth, if you really want to know the real truth, Sign of the Times is the answer because that's more of an R&B album than Thriller and Purple Rain and Controlled by Janet. So my R&B pick would actually be Sign of the Times.
I'm okay with that because I look at Purple Rain as more of a rock album, honestly.
It's like if Jimi Hendrix could sing his ass off too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the best R&B album of the 90s.
That's where things get very problematic, Mike.
So because it's R. Kelly?
Because it's R. Kelly's era, but there's also somebody that's from Charlotte, North Carolina. Jodeci's
Diary of a Madman.
Diary of a Madman, super special, Mike.
It is.
To me, the first 6-7 songs on Diary of a Madman are what R&B has sounded like since that album came out.
I'm okay with that. I was thinking either that, Funky Divas by En Vogue.
The album's not good enough end to end.
Okay.
I was thinking My Life by Mary J. Blige is better end to end than Funky Divas.
Okay. What about Boyz II Men's second album? Because I think that was just insanely better than the first.
It was, but that was more singles driven. That was more Waters Run Dry, On Bended Knee, Thank You.
I'm cool with Diary of a Madman. You know how I feel about Jodeci. I think they're the best R&B group of the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, my cousin knew Devontae. My other cousin was one of their first backup dancers. It's like, yeah, we know them like in the fam. That they East Side Charlotte. Some of my family live on the East Side, even though I'm from the West Side. But yeah, they came up with my family on the East Side. I'm partial to them. But
what about the first part of the 2000s?
I was actually about to say, Mike. I know it's just so hard to take R. Kelly out of it because it's like when I was saying Diary of a Madman, I was like, I'm thinking about 12 Play that came out right before Diary of a Madman, but also the R. Kelly album that came out right after. Because the R&B music, just the R&B music, not even the hit making, the R&B music that's on the R. Kelly album, the 1995 album, the one with I Can't Sleep, Be Happy, you remind me, Down Low, like the songwriting, Mike, R&B wise, Mike.
Everything sounded like it after it. You know what? I have to give the 2000s to TP 2000 because everything R&B wise sounded like that album. Like he created the R&B thug on that album. The braid my hair, all that shit.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like he, along with Jodeci, helped make the mold in the 90s, but it's like Jodeci was gone by the time TP2.com came out. And it's like he came back out with I Wish, Feeling on Your Booty, the Fiesta remix.
Yeah. Antonio with the super chat says, "Nah, drop the drop off for John Blaze is Fat Joe."
No, Kiss and Ray are not where Pun and Nas are. That's a lie.
LP with the super chat says, "Stop the violence and same old gang or posse cuts." Cool.
Oh, also too, let me bring something up. People have to understand this. Wade was hitting playoff game winning shots as a rookie. Go check Kobe's playoff stats as a rookie. I'm picking
18,
Wade.
Coop. Cam
Wade
Porter with the
21.
super chat says Dwayne Wade is not better than Kobe. Stop.
I didn't
Kobe
say that.
had a bad
I said
series.
I said better playoff performer.
Said Kobe had a bad series, but what about Wade versus the Spurs in 2014? Nas the GOAT with the super chat says Players Anthem, Blackout, They Know remix, 4-3-2-1. I kept seeing 4-3-2-1 a lot. What do you think about that?
I think 4-1-3-2-1 deserves some honorable mention, but what I would tell you is that those are just what I like to call regular high-level Method Man and Redman verses now, aren't they? Those are just regular high-level Method Man and Redman verses.
It was the first time we really got a chance to hear DMX, too. I feel like I heard him on that before I heard him on Money, Power, and Respect. I'm not sure. But I know he really stood out on Money, Power, and Respect.
It's damn near the same month, Mike, it feels like.
Oh, okay.
Like in my mind.
Ray Realms with the super chat says, Black Savage is a top 10 posse cut of all time. What do you think about the Sway and Tech record, the Anthem?
I like the Anthem. Ooh, that's a nice sneaky pick. I haven't heard that.
The Anthem was crazy.
Anthem was pretty dope.
It had a lot of people on it, and everybody did their thing. And Eminem slid in there perfectly too.
But part of it being like classic is the memorabilia is the memorabilia part of it. It's like how memorable is that song? Like we forgot the symphony came out when we were 6 and 7 years old. We know exactly what it is and how it is. You feel me?
You're right.
Like that's part of the conversation too. It has to stand the test of time. I see people putting "Got My Mind Made Up" on there. How about this? I prefer "Got My Mind Made Up" to 4-3-2-1. If you want to know the truth,
I do too. But again, Method Man and Redman were a higher level on there. Yeah.
And Pac is high level on there too.
He is, and so is Corrupt.
And so is Corrupt.
Daz was the only low moment, and I thought Daz just didn't come through clear, man.
His beat, it's okay.
You know what I really loved Daz on was on one of my favorite songs from that era too. I don't know why "Never Give It Up" is in my head, but not that record. It's the Dog Pound record. What Would You Do?
What would you do?
Yo, Daz killed that shit.
That's on "Murder Was the Case" with Trey D.
I love that record. Yeah,
I love that record.
I love that record. They had two different videos for it. What did Dad say? He was like, if a nigga had a prayer before a nigga died, would that nigga be dead or would he stay alive? If I was in your spot, would I survive? Probably not. You probably let your Glock go pop. Now drop to your knees and picture that nigga Daz blowing in the breeze. Yo, Daz could rhyme, man. I think the fact that he was next to Corrupt, we slept on a lot of the stuff that Daz did lyrically.
That song, "What Would You Do" on the "Murder Was the Case" soundtrack, Mike, next to "Murder Was the Case" and "Natural Born Killers," I thought "What Would You Do" by the Dog Pound with Trey D was the best song on there.
Those
I love
strong
"What Would You
songs, do?" man.
What would you do if you could fuck with me and my crew? And
But
Snoop
you
came in,
can't.
but you can't, so don't even think about
stepping in the motherfucking hell. I love that
Yeah,
record.
that was the shit.
LP with the super chat says, Mike, you don't make those excuses for Steph. Steph dominated the third quarter, and you ranked him as a bad fourth quarter, but you excuse Kobe for full game 7. Listen, man, one bad game 7, and really,
No, one bad game 7.
and I think
No,
that
it's
bad
not
game
one bad
7.
game 7, Mike. It's the fact that listen. Go look at his numbers on the first 3 finals run outside of when Shaq gets hurt in the Indiana Pacers series. He's not that impressive. Shaq is clearly the dominant force carrying that team. Shaq's numbers look ungod. How about this? Shaq's numbers in those first 3 finals are Wilt-like. Kobe's numbers are Ray Allen-like. That's a fact. Outside of when Shaq got hurt and he had to step up against Indiana, he wasn't like that for those first 3 rings. And when they were up for ring number 4, when that motherfucker was walking around saying he was the man, he shot 37% from the field. These are facts. His first
in the whole series or in that game
series. Go pull it up. 37% for the Phillies. For the series, I think he might have shot like 23% from 3, Mike.
Ketchum McCormick says in 01, Kobe averaged 30, and they went 15-1.
Go pull up Shaq's numbers.
He said Coop is right about the Pistons and that first Boston series. You know what? I want to give y'all an update on what people are saying about this Beyonce
I want
album.
Shaq's numbers. If Kobe averaged 30, I bet you Shaq was averaging 38 or 36. How much you want to bet?
We'll go to those numbers too. But I want to get to this Beyonce poll while I get to some of these super chats. We got 103 votes, and 56% of y'all said the album is some mid. 7% says it's great. 19% says it's good, and 17% says it's whack.
Oh, Mike.
Sounds like some mid to me.
Mike, Shaquille O'Neal in the 2001 NBA Finals averaged 31 points, 15.8 rebounds, and 4.8 assists.
Monster.
Who's the man?
I don't think anybody ever debated that. Who's the man
with the master plan? And keep in mind, Kobe scoring 30 points against Allen Iverson and Eric Snow, a guy who's my height and the other guy is 6'1".
Mad Max with the super chat says, LOL, Coop. Kobe played sidekick, but what
and
was Wade?
He
said, but what was? Let me finish. What was Wade with LeBron? Wade played like hot garbage against the Spurs in 2014, and we bring up Bynum. He averaged 11-7 in those championship years. You know what's funny? I felt like Wade's play in 2014 is one of the reasons why LeBron went back to Cleveland.
No, that is the number one reason why LeBron went back to Cleveland. But here's why I wasn't okay with LeBron going back to Cleveland. Because in the 2011 NBA Finals, Dwayne Wade did what he was supposed to do to win that ring. And what the fuck did LeBron do? So one turn deserves another. He should have stayed loyal a little longer.
You know what? And I think that...
No.
I think that... You're talking about the Dallas series, right?
Yes.
I think that Dallas series is really overblown because, again, you can go back and check my log. I picked Dallas to win that series because of how deep the team was. Like, they just had no depth in Miami. That ain't on LeBron.
Stats, though. Hold on. Let's do the metrics and the stats of Wade in the series where LeBron choked. This is what the metrics say. Wade was the most productive player in the 2011 NBA Finals with an estimated 1.4 wins produced from 32.6 points scored with 58% shooting efficiency, 8.6 rebounds, 6.4%, and 3.1 turnovers per 48 minutes. So they're saying for every player that was on the court in that 2011 Finals, that's Dirk and LeBron included, the most effective player on the court per 48 minutes was Dwayne Wade. Let's go to the
Dallas won by committee, though. That's the reason.
No, because they're bringing up Wade's 2014 Finals, but not talking about his 2011 Finals, where he averaged 26.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists, and LeBron fucking choked.
What did LeBron average?
Not enough in the fourth
quarter. No.
Right?
Let's go over the numbers. You just went through Wade's numbers. What did he average?
No. Let's pull up LeBron's numbers.
Mad Max to the super chat says, LOL 2000 Game 7 Western Conference Finals. Scored more points than Shaq. Had more rebounds. Had more assists. More steals. More blocks. Had a higher percentage from the floor. Wade's best series.
You're talking about one game.
He said Wade's best series. Finals. He said Wade's best series. He was getting hardened free throws on Dallas. And D Rose packed Wade as a rock. Yo, Wade went to the line.
Hold on, stop for a second.
Against Dallas.
Hold on.
The first Miami championship. Wade went to the line 100 times in 6 games. You know how crazy that is?
No, did he say against the Spurs?
Mad Max says Kobe averaged 26, 6 and 7 versus the Nets, being guarded by Jason Kidd and shooting 52% from the field. He said in the finals, Kobe never shot well. He baked the premier defender at guard.
Did he bring up the Western Conference Final against the San Antonio Spurs? Do you know why Kobe scored those points?
Wow.
Because somebody was in the paint controlling Tim Duncan and David Robinson at the same motherfucking time. Do you know who that guy is?
Diesel.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you see how people be trying to write this? Like, Kobe ain't scoring no fucking 30 against Tim Duncan and David Robinson without Shaq in the paint. Shut up. I watched those series. Everybody that watched those San Antonio series knows Shaq dominated those series.
Ray Reynolds with the super chat.
He tossed them grown-ass men around for a couple years, Mike. They didn't even know what to do.
He was different. Ray Reynolds with the super chat says, puffing on blunts and drinking Tanqueray has been my favorite posse cut of all time. Check out my last super chat.
Mike, he was literally wearing their ass out so much in the paint that when Kobe was going to the hole in the fourth quarter, they didn't have nothing left to give. Like, he was literally taking the life out of them niggas.
Oh, no.
You watched that shit, Mike. Don't act like that didn't happen.
Oh, no, I never will.
When the fourth quarter was popping up against San Antonio, Tim Duncan and David Robinson was like this with their hands on their knees. Like,
Uncle Fran with the super chat.
Oh, shit, they tired. I'm going to the hole. It's like, well, no shit. You should go to the hole. Shaq just got done wearing their ass out for 3 quarters.
Shout out to Uncle Fran in the building. He says, your chat is so biased and unreliable. He said, I don't even listen to Beyonce like that, and I believe I will like this album when I listen to it. Well, you ain't heard the album. How can you say that?
How you gonna say that, Unc? That's what I'm saying, Unc. How you even gonna do that? You ain't even heard the album, fam.
Don't be on no Questlove shit, Unc. You good, man. Are they paying you too?
Oh, industry niggas, man.
We gotta. So, okay. Were we on posse cuts or R&B?
So let's narrow down our posse cut list right quick before we finish our R&B list.
All right.
We're cool with All About the Benjamins and the Symphony. I think that's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Do we got My Mind Made Up in there? Because I feel like the West Coast needs something too. That probably is the best West Coast posse cut. You got a better West Coast posse cut for me? Even though it's got Meth and Red on it, and Corrupt's on there, and he rhymes like an East Coast MC. Isn't Corrupt from Philly originally?
He is.
Right. He's the third nigga that ever came out of Philly, Mike. He goes Thought, Siegel, Corrupt. Maybe Corrupt over Siegel based on catalog.
Possibly. That's a really good debate, actually.
That's a great debate. Philly's got the illest set of MCs outside of New York.
I like the Not Who Shot Ya, the I Shot Ya remix.
I'm cool with that too.
In the mix.
I'm cool with those 4. So what would be 5?
It was one that we're missing.
Flavor in Your Ear remix. Yep.
Flavor in Your Ear remix, but no, I feel like it was another one that we were like, yeah, definitely.
Blackout.
No, wasn't Blackout.
LP so Appalled?
Huh?
So Appalled?
I'm not mad at So Appalled being in there because I think.
Do you think So Appalled's better than Blackout?
I think it is.
You do?
I do.
Do you feel the way that I feel like Pusha T has the best verse on So Appalled?
Uh-huh.
Do you think Jadakiss has the best verse on Blackout?
What do you think about Watch for the Hook, by the way?
I kind of feel about... I was actually thinking about some of the Outkast Dungeon Family stuff, like the Goody Mob stuff, because I immediately thought about Thought Process and Black Ice, but that's kind of Wu-Tang shit to me.
Yeah, they all make music together.
They all make music together too much for it to be fair, because I could give you a top 5 Dungeon Family cuts off the top of my head. It's like, well, Thought Process, Black Ice, Watch for the Hook, Y'all Scared. You feel what I'm saying? It's like I could just do it like immediately for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they did work together, just like that Wu-Tang shit. It's like, oh, you want some Wu-Tang shit? It's like, well, Protect Your Neck. The Mystery. I listened to The Mystery of Chex Boston the other day, Mike. It's like The Mystery of Chex Boston is still one of their best songs.
Incredible. It's
got Dirt on the verse. It's got Meth on the hook. Think about it. It's got Ray, Det, Ghost, Old Dirty Bastard on the vocals. It's got Meth on the hook. It's like, what do you want out of a rap song exactly? RZA's doing the beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's Master Killer's first verse. Yeah. Rough like Timberland wear. Yeah. Me and the clan and the Land Cruisers
it's
out there.
Raw,
Peace
man.
to all the crooks, all the niggas with bad hooks. Yeah.
You can't even like describe how raw that shit is.
You can't even re-equate that. I hadn't listened to it in so long. I was like, these niggas so raw.
LP with the super chat says Wade and Bosh play better than they average more points and rebounds than LeBron. LeBron had games with 0 in the fourth, 8 points in a full game against JJ Barrera. You know one thing that really threw me off with that Dallas series? When I saw Jason Terry posting LeBron James up. Now then I was like, yo, come on now. LeBron, come on now. Mad Max with the super chat says the Western Conference was against the Blazers and not I want to talk about that game real quick. And not the Spurs. And Kobe used to give the Spurs 45. And in 08, he destroyed the Spurs when they were the defending champs. Kobe always killed the Spurs. Stop it, Coop. You know, I blame Scottie Pippen for that Blazers collapse, I shall say.
I do too, because here's the thing.
He's the veteran. I saw him sitting there missing layups in the fourth quarter. They were at home.
No, he's not only a veteran. You have to understand where basketball is at that point where that game is happening. He is probably the most championship seasoned person, not just on the court, but in professional basketball when that moment is happening. Okay?
At home.
In
the fourth quarter with a 20-point lead going into the fourth quarter.
Is a 15-point lead.
Was it 15? Okay. I'm exaggerating. 15. It was 20 in my head.
7.5 minutes. 15 was 7.5 minutes. And I'm going to tell you what happened. No, I'm going to tell you what happened that I had a problem with. And this is not because I'm a Duke fan. And this is what I watched happen live. And I never forget that this happened.
I remember where I was at too.
3 straight trips. They went down and handed the ball to Rasheed Wallace. I watched Scottie Pippen hand the ball to Rasheed Wallace 3 straight times with Shaq down there. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? And why are you not taking this moment and handing the ball off to a Rasheed Wallace that was already cantankerous, talented, and still young and hadn't even reached his full flow yet?
Exactly.
You handing the ball to Rasheed Wallace in this moment instead of taking the ball? Like, you better take Kobe off the dribble and take this nigga to the rack and go to the free throw line. And he passed the ball to Rasheed Wallace 3 straight times. I said, he don't want it. We got a problem if Kobe wants it. Kobe popped out. That's when the Kobe Bryant we know popped up. He popped up in the fourth quarter of that game when he seen Scottie didn't want it. And he's like, oh, you don't want it? I'm taking.
I'm not going to lie to you, bro.
Game over. Scottie Pippen's fault.
As a Jordan fan, as a Bulls fan, especially in that era, I lost a lot of respect for Scottie Pippen that day.
That's his biggest fault to me. Damn that Tony Kukoc shit, that migraine shit, right there. Up 15 points on Shaq and Kobe with 7.5 minutes left, and you handing the ball off to Rasheed Wallace like a bitch.
The migraine thing is one of those things where it's like, you know, you can't measure a person's threshold of pain and all that stuff. So it's like, that's tough to really equate. And the Tony Kukoc thing, I'm not going to lie. I think Phil did.
He's right.
I think Phil did him dirty on that.
I agreed with him. I agree with him for that.
I think Phil did him dirty. I don't agree.
15? No.
I don't agree with him sitting down, but I think Phil put him in a lose-lose situation. And I think that was messed up, the position Phil put him in.
15.
But the Portland shit, that's all on him. There's no defending that.
7.5 minutes list. Mike, if memory serves me in my mind, it might have been 7 minutes and 27 seconds to be exact. They were up 15 with 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
You're a 6-time champion. They were stacked. That Portland team.
No. You're not just a 6-time champion. You've been in the playoffs deep without Mike. You've been in the playoffs deep before Mike, before this run. So we're talking about Mike. He's been running deep into the playoffs every year since about 88. He came into the league in 87. You don't know anything but this. You don't know nothing but this life.
Kato with the super chat says 08 and 09 playoffs, Kobe averaged 29, 6, and 5. Kobe and Shaq, best duo. Your point taken on Shaq's dominance, though.
Hold on. Why y'all keep bringing up Kobe's number? Listen to me. While Kobe is averaging 29 and 30, go look at Shaq's numbers.
Willard Winston says Kobe beat the Spurs in '08 in 5. Kobe averaged 30. Coop, stop it. Shout out to the West Coast out
this
here.
Conference final stuff again, not this final shit, huh? You
Tell
see what
them,
they
y'all.
doing?
Kobe
you see how they bringing up Kobe's conference finals resume because they know what his finals resume looks like?
True life with the super chat.
Mike, Steph Curry is just as good as Kobe in the finals. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh man, cut that out. True life with the super chat says trivia question for Coop. What's the illest line Nas said on a bonus track? Trust off the Life Is Good album. Gotta test your Nas knowledge.
What, off that song?
He said, what's the illest line Nas said on the bonus track Trust off the Life Is Good album?
Oh shit, I can't think of like an illest line off one song off a bonus track off Life Is Good off the top of my head right now. I mean, I'm sorry, like that's just not.
Even as a Nas fan, that's a little tough for you, huh?
No. I mean, that's just not a realistic pull. It's like if you want to ask me, it's like, well, what's your favorite bar from like a Nas unreleased song in the last 10, 15 years? It's like, oh, I can give you that, but you're asking me literally to specify it to a song on an album that literally has what 4 or 5 bonus tracks on just that one album alone. It's
Eric
like we gotta
Terrell.
be realistic. Yeah, we just gotta be realistic about our pulls. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't mind entertaining it, but it's like let's like be realistic to me and like my life, my schedule, reality.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says the final DLC last song on the album. What song was that? Was that the Lil Jon redid it? You know what I'm talking about?
The grand finale.
Grand finale, yeah.
Yeah.
DeCarlo with the super chat says special delivery remix.
No.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest, guys, and maybe it's an unpopular opinion. I like the regular special delivery more than the special delivery remix.
I do too.
I do.
And I know Ghost is all over there. I don't love Ghost on that beat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was underwhelmed, and this is at the height of my Ghost fandom. What do you think about? I see 24 Hours to Live here. What do you think about that?
I think that gets some honorable mention.
I like that one too.
I like that too. See, this is what I mean. So even with something like, so we were going So Appalled. You said So Appalled. You like So Appalled more than Blackout, and I'm like, okay. You think Pusha T's? What do you think is the best verse on Blackout? Because I think it's Kiss's verse.
Yeah, Jada.
Is Kiss's verse better than Pusha's verse?
I don't think so.
Neither do I. So I'm with you on So Appalled too. Because I would give the slight edge to Push because I think the songs are comparable. Reservoir Dogs doesn't register for me.
Mad Max of the super chat says most championship players and Kobe destroyed him. What did he say? Oh, most championship players and Kobe destroyed him and led the Lakers in a comeback. Kobe has Scottie Pippen having flashbacks and nightmares of checking Jordan in practice. Oh, y'all tripping on him, man.
Yeah, you are. See, this is what I mean about how people forget. Okay, so let's forget. See, this is what I mean about how things happen fast and things ship fast. Like the last year that the Bulls won the title, like, you know, Kobe and Shaq were still like playing when that happened.
Yeah.
They were up like 27 on the Bulls in Staples. And like Mike and Scottie came back and beat their ass. And it was actually Scottie that scored like 20 in the fourth quarter and beat them. And it was with Kobe guarding him. Like, just remember the whole history of everything.
You know who gave Shaq problems in that matchup, in that team matchup? You remember when they had Kukoc on Shaq and Kukoc was pulling him out and shooting over him? Shaq didn't know what to do. Yeah. Because we really didn't have stretch bigs like that then. That's why when
Rodman was running the power forward technically, and to get Kukoc in, you had to put him at center because Ron Harper and Scottie and Mike needed to be on the floor for defensive purposes because that early Lakers team had a lot of wings that could shoot, that had lift and had stretches. It was Kobe, Shaq, and a bunch of stretches.
I saw that meme, man, where it was like, people had that Bulls team, the 96 Bulls team, lined up with the Golden State team that had KD, Steph, and all of them on it. And Kukoc was in the picture because the lineup they had was Harper, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and Kukoc. And I was like, in this small ball situation, Kukoc would eat out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was a matchup, let's just say, Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and I think they had Iggy in the picture, right? It was Iguodala in there. I think that Bulls lineup beats that lineup. I'm throwing Rodman on KD for the first half and maybe Pippen on KD for the second half or something. I'll throw Harper 6'6" wingspan and all that stuff on Steph. Throw Jordan on Clay.
Putting Rodman and Scotty on KD is like putting Kawhi and Draymond on Kobe. It doesn't matter. I mean, just being honest, I think Scotty's the best on-ball defender of all time. I don't think it matters. Yeah. I will tell you that the caveat in the series is actually Kevin Durant's mentality, because if Kevin Durant thought the way that Kobe and Michael Jordan did, they would win that series.
Exactly. But I think Rodman could get in his head.
But no, not even get in his head. He's still going to go get his 30. What I'm saying, if he thought the way that Kobe and Mike did, as in kill, kill, kill.
Yeah.
Murder, murder, murder. Like if he thought that way, even against Scotty and Rodman, he would go get 40 a game and cancel Mike out. But because he doesn't think like that, they're not going to win, and you're going to need 40 of Mike.
How many 50-point games does KD have in his career?
Not enough. Not enough.
I can't think of that many.
He's very Larry. I always tell people the biggest comp for him is actually Larry Bird. Larry Bird was the most efficient basketball player who ever lived before Kevin Durant came around. What you have is
he was a killer, though.
Yeah. Stone cold.
Yeah.
With no heart.
None.
In a league full of black guys. In a league full of black guys. No heart.
Well, he came up like that.
Right. No soul. Yeah. Right. But play-wise, would always give you about 28 points. 50% shooting from the field. Around 38% from three. About 90% from the line. He's a better rebounder. Better passer. The assists are comparable. But what I'm saying is like KD's game, efficient-wise, well, Larry never went and got you 50, 60 a lot, but he always got you 25 to 40. Yeah. Like always. And that's the same thing with KD. It's like, well, KD don't go and get you 50. Mike, you know how many streaks he's had where he's had multiple 40 game and 50, 60, 70 game stretches of averaging 20 points consecutive games, like more than Michael Jordan, more than everybody pretty much except for Wilt, because it's like, well, every time he picks up the basketball, he's good for about 20, 30 points, and he'll go give you that every night. I keep telling people this. LeBron don't give you 30 every night when he averages 30. Steph don't give you 30 every night when he averages 30. Neither does Harden. They all go have big games that spike and go have stretches or runs in months. This nigga KD will literally go score 30 points every month of the fucking year.
Clayton is asleep with the super chat. Appreciate the $20 super chat. He said, Mike, back during that top 10 Wu-Tang album episode, you mentioned the Pretty Tony album as being your number 3 over Fish Scale and Bulletproof Wallets. Do you still feel that way? Man, I need to go back and listen to Fish Scale because y'all have been killing me about this Fish Scale thing over the Pretty Tony LP. I personally do like the Pretty Tony LP better, but Coop disagrees with me on that as well. I'm going to go back and listen to it because I actually bought Fish Scale the first day. I remember I bought that shit. It might have been at Tower Records in Buckhead because I remember putting it in and riding down P Street. But I think that the standouts like Biscuits and Holla and man, just so much that was on the Pretty Tony LP. You know what song I really like? It was the song where he sampled where Biz Markie got You Got What I Need from.
With Missy?
Nah, the song before that. That dun dun dun.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name.
Dun, you got it, baby. That song was fire.
Okay, so
that Save Me Dear. That song.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Hard.
Here's what I tell you. Quick Ghost conversation. I think we're all in agreement that it goes Supreme Clientele and Iron Man, though, right? Are we all clear on that? Supreme Clientele, Iron Man?
I don't think anybody's saying anything different than that. I think the third spot is the debate.
The third spot is the debate. So what I've always told you is that I actually think Fish Scale is better than Bulletproof and Pretty Tony. I got Fish Scale at number 3.
A lot of people do.
Well, Mike, the start off to Fish Scale reminds you of why Ghost is great and why Wu-Tang is great. The start off the Fish Scale goes Shaky Dog. First of all, that's one of Ghost's top 5 stories. I love Shaky Dog. Shaky Dog is personally my favorite Ghost story. That's my favorite Ghostface Killer story is Shaky Dog. You look paranoid. That's why I can't jokes with you. Why? Why you behind me, Larry? Shaky Dog stuttering. When you got the bigger crook on you, you the crazy. Like, he literally gets into the detail of having the conversation with the dude that he's pulling the robbery with. How many niggas is rapping like this? It's like, yo, is this nigga having a conversation with the other nigga he's pulling the crime with? on record, this nigga's great. He's all time great.
You know, that reminds me of that Hollow Bones verse, man. I love that verse.
It is. No, it's very similar to that, but it's like the whole full player of the Hollow Bones verse.
Right.
It goes into Kilo after that. Kilo is 1,000 grams. It's easy to remember. This nigga talking crazy on there. He's talking, feel like I'm on a fuck Catwoman tonight or something. You know what I'm saying?
That was
like
his first Def Jam album, right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Because he had the Neo song on there, yeah.
Mike, then it goes into The Champ, which is one of Just Blaze's most underrated tracks. How about this? That's the track that should pop up on Ghostface Greatest Hits that people don't know is one of Ghost's greatest hits. The Champ is a monster.
It is.
And then it goes into 9 Milli Brothers, which quite frankly is the best Wu-Tang Posse cut that we've heard since then. 9 Milli Brothers is the last great Wu-Tang Posse cut from that time frame. I know like the Purple Tape has some stuff.
I was going to say the Purple Tape too.
But no. When I say Wu-Tang Posse cut, as in that's a Wu-Tang Clan song, as in almost the entire clan that is alive and living and breathing is on that song.
Yeah.
As in on some Protect Your Neck, Triumph type shit. That's 9 Milli Brothers. You know what? The last time that happened was on Supreme Clientele, Wu Banger 101.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's how Fish Scale starts. That's better than everything on Bulletproof and Pretty Tony.
I'm going to go listen to them both this weekend, and I'm going to reconvene on Wednesday for real, because y'all been killing me on this Fish Scale.
Love Fish Scale. Fish Scale got the, what's the joint on there too? It's got the underwater joint where he like takes on all the comic book and like cartoon characters and tells a story about them too. No, he's got stuff on there.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, what was the better year for Nas? 2002 with Godson and the Lost Tapes, or last year with KD2 and Magic? Last year. Well, no debate there. Nicholas with the super chat says, love listening to you guys. What's the hold up with the Game album? Game's dropping August 12th.
It's dropping August 12th.
I think the hold up might have been sample clearances, possibly. I don't know. But it has taken way too long because this shit was, we've been hearing about Drillmatic since I think maybe like February or March.
No, it's been a minute that we've been having to deal with the fodder about it. But, you know, I mean, I'm never going to knock an artist for like taking his time, perfecting
as long as it's good.
Right. I mean, and here's the thing about it. How about this? It would be different. This is why breaks matter and who you are and what you've done matters. It's like, well, every year, like these last 2 years when we was talking about Kendrick shit and you was like, I don't like that. It's like, I don't think he's got enough good material, Coop. And I was like, well, I don't know. I'm starting to feel that way too because it's taking too long. Yeah. There's a big difference. And this is what I'm saying. Well, people are like, what's up with Game's album? It's like, no. He's taking a couple of extra months, not a couple extra years.
We've been talking about Kendrick coming out since like 2020 or 2019.
Right.
You know, people were killing you in the comment section of our last episode when you were breaking down how Mr. Morales is a mid. Mr. Mid. Can we call it that?
I called it some mid because that's what it is. It's not good.
Jay Short, the super chat says, I'm going to let you get into that, but let me get to Jay Short super chat real quick. He said, is Make 'Em Say in the running for a top Posse cut?
No.
No, because of lyrical miracles, but because of the impact of the energy and the video was some classic No Limit shit. It was.
That's not even their best Posse cut to me.
I don't think so either. Nas the Go said, hey Mike, Steph has more 50-point games than KD.
Yeah, I told you.
Well, there it is. I have nothing to say about that.
There are players who spike more. That's what I'm saying. How about this? Of all the great all-time scorers, almost all of them spike more than KD. None of them are more consistent than him. None of them, including Michael Jordan. Like nobody scores the ball.
What do you mean? Consistently. You mean like shooting wise?
No. I mean like literally when you look at the points that somebody averages per game, like when they go out, if you were to go take their box score every night and go line it up and then put their average together. Like James Harden, that season that he averaged like 38 points or something like that. Well, Mike, he had about 2 months where he averaged like 40. You feel me? And
I don't think that I ever, and I remember watching just about every Bulls game because, you know, we had WGN out here in Atlanta. So we got the Chicago station. I don't think I ever remember Jordan getting less than like 24 points in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I've seen games where he scored like 19, 21, 22, but those were the anomaly games
Right.
where it's like, God, they'd be like, Michael Jordan shot 7 for 22 tonight, and you would be surprised.
right.
But what I'm saying is that Michael Jordan's a better scorer than KD because he spiked more, but he's probably the next closest person in terms of consistently scoring. But he doesn't go get. Not even Michael Jordan goes and gets 25 to 30 points as often as Kevin Durant does. Because what Michael do is Michael go score 23 and 21, but then Michael have a week where he'll go score 50 every game.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like, and today Michael scored 50 after scoring 47, after he just got done scoring 41, after he just got done scoring 62.
And get 45 with the flu and shit.
Kevin Durant doesn't have weeks like that, but every week Kevin Durant be like, tonight Kevin Durant had 27 points. Tonight Kevin Durant had 25 points. Tonight Kevin Durant had 33 points. Tonight Kevin Durant had 31 points. How many times have been saying it's the story of his career?
Destination with the super chat says, what do you guys think of Set It Off by Snoop, Trans DF Express, Dungeon Family, The Bridge 2001, all underrated in my opinion. I love Trans DF Express, and I loved Andre's verse on there. And you know what we don't talk about enough? Dre and CeeLo they haven't rapped enough together. And that's one of the few times that they have. What do we have with them? We got Thought Process.
I don't think Dre want that smoke.
We got Thought Process. And that's why I was like, when I see people acting like CeeLo's not that deal like that, I think it's because we never heard him and Dre. We didn't hear him and Dre rhyme enough during that period where the Dungeon Family was the Dungeon Family together. I don't think there's ever been a period where it was just them two on a record.
Hold on. I want to just stop right quick because I just heard somebody say MJ has the best player efficiency rating ever. Yes, he does.
He does.
And I'd like to also point something out to people too. Did you see how Russell Westbrook played last year?
Uh-huh.
Kevin Durant dealt with that for 10 years and they went to 4 conference finals and the NBA finals. He's the most efficient player who ever lived, including Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would not be the PER king had he had to play with Russell Westbrook for 10 years. That shit.
Nas the GOAT with the super chat says,
am I wrong? No, I want you to tell me, Mike, am I wrong?
Well, I don't think
10
it's
years
fair.
of Russell Westbrook?
I don't think it's... I don't
Mike be leading any PER things if Russell Westbrook was his point guard instead of Scottie Pippen.
Well, let me finish. I don't think
Pippen was Michael Jordan's
I don't think it's fair to judge...
I
don't think it's fair to judge Russell Westbrook based on last season either. He was playing with a different Russell Westbrook than that.
No, that's the Russell Westbrook that was playing in Oklahoma City. That was the Russell Westbrook that played in Houston. That was the Russell Westbrook that played in Washington. He's been playing the same way the entirety of his career. That is why Kevin Durant left. He was just more athletic in Oklahoma City. Same guy, same 4 to 7 turnovers a game, same 40% shooting from the field, same 30% from 3. He was more athletic and a better free throw shooter. Same guy.
Nas the GOAT says, Coop, what are your top 10 Nas songs of all time?
Top 10 Nas songs? Just like off top?
Give us 5.
Favorite 5.
Favorite
5. Memory Lane. Made You Look. The Setup.
I didn't think you were going to say Memory Lane.
I love Memory Lane. Memory Lane is what made me a fan. Memory Lane was the song I was like, oh, no, this motherfucker the best.
Go ahead.
The World Is Yours is my theme song, so I'd probably be hard-pressed to do a top 5 without putting my actual fucking theme music in there. Yeah. So Memory Lane, The World Is Yours, Made You Look, The Setup. That's hard. I would...
Death Row East. No, I'm joking.
No. I would actually tell you that I was really, and this is probably why I might feel the way about it, I really, really love that original version of Project Windows that I heard that Nasheem Myrick did the beat to off I Am. The original Project Windows. That Nasheem Myrick did the beat to, not the one that Trackmasters fucked up.
You know one of my favorite Nas songs, though, that, it never gets talked about, and I guess it shouldn't. Queen's, I think it was Queen's Niggas or Queen's Finest that was on that DJ Clue.
Yeah, Queen's Finest.
I love that rap.
Actually, no.
Slick
I gotta
Rick
take
Chains,
the last one.
Ill nigga. Get brains the fucking hell figure. Nah.
I gotta take the last one back. This is what I'm saying is like, The World Is Yours is my theme music, but there's a song that I play every day on my birthday. I make sure it's the first song that I play on my birthday every year. And it's Taken in Blood.
Okay, I figured that's where you were gonna go.
Well, that's my motto, actually. The start to that song is actually what like The World Is Yours is my motto as a song, but the start to Take It in Blood is my motto as a person. I never brag how real I keep it because it's the best secret. That's my favorite fucking shit ever.
Canary, what he say? He was like Canary.
I rock a vest, prestigious, Cuban link for the Jesus, in the Lex watching Kathy Lee and Regis. My actions are one with the season, a text squeezing, executioner. Wintertime I rock a fur, mega popular, center of attraction, climaxing. My bitches, they be laughing. They hair off sniffing coke off of 20 shit, Andrew Jackson. Yeah, that's still my favorite shit. That was my life. Like I was like, I was like, no. I was like, I feel that right with that.
Queens out from public housing comes the one known as the Godson Child. Rappers is bowing. Whew. Love that record. Lord Lust says, rank Sugar Free, MJG, and Richie Rich as lyricists. Me, MJG I'm going first. MJG, Richie Rich, then Sugar Free. And I fuck with Sugar Free.
I actually fuck with Sugar Free. I'm actually going to put MJG, Sugar Free, and then Richie Rich, actually.
Okay. I ain't mad at that because that was kind of tough for me. I mean, I think Richie Rich kind of just had that voice and flow. And
he got the flow.
Yeah, Richie Rich was nice. Mad Max with the super chat says, Coop, now stop. I love KD, but when you look at consistency in scoring, Jordan averaged 30 on 50% for a career. That's not KD. KD's not even prime healthy Bernard King as a scorer. Just look at the film.
No, this is what I'm trying to tell you all. Look at who his point guards have been. He's had Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry. He hasn't had a point guard. That's why I kind of want him to stay in Brooklyn. If he actually stays with a point guard like a Ben Simmons, or even if he goes to Boston with Brogdon like a point guard, it's like, oh no, you haven't even seen what he can do yet. Think about it. He's had shoot first point guards his whole career. He's played with Steph and Westbrook.
Yeah.
That's real.
But you know what I will say? This is what I will say. I feel like what KD was able to do, though, by playing with Westbrook, he was able to allow Westbrook to take all the bad shots where he could get the good ones. You know what I mean?
Well, I think he may have learned the difference between the good shots and the bad shots from watching the dynamics in their play.
Right.
But what I would also submit to you, too, is that as he ages, do not be surprised if he starts running the point guard more.
I could see that.
But I saw that in Brooklyn a lot. When Kyrie was gone, it's like, well, no, I was like, this motherfucker's still averaging 29 points, but he's getting 11 assists and 8 rebounds. This is doable.
Are we going to hold it against KD that he's played with Westbrook, Steph, and Kyrie as point guards?
They're the three biggest shoot first point guards I've ever seen, Mike.
Yeah.
Give him Chris Paul or a Rondo. He's going to average 40.
Well, see, no. If you give him those guys, he's going to have to, take some shots that might not be the best shots all the time. You know what I mean?
He's 7 feet tall. Take the fucking shot, nigga. That's my point, Mike.
He wants guys that are going to go out there and take those bad shots so he can be more selective. You know what I mean?
And what I'm saying is it's time to put the kiddies to bed and stop playing that dumb shit, nigga. Shoot the ball. You're 7 feet.
That's
You're one
all
of the 10
he
to 15
knows.
best shooters ever. No, he's 7 feet tall. He's one of the 10 to 15 best shooters that ever lived. I ain't trying to hear that shit. It's like, no, nigga, how about you shoot?
Jay Short with the super chat says, I'm late on this, but Nas is the most to blame for the Firm album. You can't be the GOAT in your prime and let that happen. Don't tell me about Wade and Bosh. Nas had the memorable verse on Impossible. Oh, Nas had no memorable verses. Impossible.
Headphones have.
Well, you know what? We got that.
I do blame Nas for the Firm album.
We got that comment in in that actual post from one of the producers on there, the Glove, the one that was working with Dr. Dre. And he gave us the insight that Dr. Dre didn't really have his hands on that project. Him and Dr. Dre weren't able to do too much.
He said too many logos.
Too many logos. And
he literally brought up specifically Lior, who was running Def Jam at the time. So that's Foxy Brown being a problem. And then he brought up Steve Stout. That's Nas being a problem. Then he brought up logos. I mean, there's too many fucking
Well, see, this is the thing.
Not enough Indian.
If that's, and I'm pretty sure that's the case because he wouldn't even, commented in our video if that wasn't the case. With that being the case, I will have to give most of the blame to Nas. We can't give the blame to Dre because he didn't have his hands on it really.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
He let Steve Stout bring track masters in what's supposed to be an executive produced Dr. Dre affair, and that's Nas's fault.
Because if Nas goes out there and says, no, Dre's handling this, then that's what's going to happen.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Ryan Gillum with the super chat says, Crit had a better DD album than Kendrick. Go back and listen to the Double Disc album. I don't even consider Kendrick's album a double disc, but whatever.
Isn't that Crit album like an R&B kind of album though? Like,
no, he's talking about the double disc. He's talking about Forever is a mighty long time. But yeah, he said Crit had a better double disc album than Kendrick. Go back and listen to Forever is a mighty long time. Notice the similarities and notice how Crit did it better. Someone accused you of not liking Mr. Morale because he was talking about mental health or something.
I mean, that means that person probably hasn't been paying attention to this podcast.
Yeah. I didn't recognize the name. It didn't seem like one of our regulars.
Right. I'm a super big proponent of mental health. If people want me to get personal with it, I had my first psychology or therapy session when I was about 19 years old when I was in college at UNCG. It was mandated by the university based on my behavior. I've been in therapy multiple times since. I'm a big believer in what therapy can do in the Black community. I feel like we get stigmatized by it because we're ashamed and afraid to ask for help. I take mental health very seriously. Anybody that actually follows me on social media actually sees me speak to a lot of things that involve mental health on a spiritual level, on a relational level, on a hip hop level. So that's just it's just a total inaccuracy and falsehood.
I think the thing is, man, when you take on certain topics, no one can critique the quality of the actual record, because it's like, when you take on something like that, you know, like you said, has a stigma in different communities, if the record is just not a good record, you can't even say that. People will say, oh, you just don't like it because of the stigma. No, I don't like it because the record's just not sticking.
No, I mean, so this is what I mean. So this is what I mean about like how some people just need to be honest. So when I went to college, part of how I ended up in this, you know, like seeing this person, it's for anxiety, because I was a psychology major, actually, Mike. And I was taking a cognitive psychology course. Now, my professor at the time, and she told me this, she thought I might have been the most brilliant mind in her class. I totally bombed her first two tests, and she could not understand why. She asked me to come in and take one of the tests verbally. I literally got an A+ on the same test that I had just failed. I wasn't dealing well with the parameters of school frameworks. Like I don't deal well with, like, you know, constructive isolation in group settings where things are uncomfortable. It's like, well, you can't put me in a room full of white people and expect me to be comfortable and expect me to be quiet. Like things are okay. I'm sorry.
I didn't
like,
see it going that way.
No. I mean, I'm just being honest. It's like it's 1999. I'm sitting in a classroom in Greensboro, North Carolina, around a bunch of privileged white kids. I'm coming from the projects out the west side of Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like, it's a little bit of a fucking culture shock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm used to being on Beatties Ford Road in LaSalle and like West Boulevard and like going to Willie CDs to like fucking go get my hip hop fix. And you know what I'm saying? I'm used to having to carry a knife, you know, when I go home, and I'm used to having to walk to the grocery store to get groceries for my brother. And then you sit me in this room with about 100 white people and you expect me to function well. And it's like, oh, well, I ain't functioning well in this shit. You know what I'm saying? And the teacher kind of seen it. And so that was actually my first step into therapy, was just working to eradicate some of the behavioral issues that was affecting me test-wise from being in the environment because I wasn't adjusting well. Yeah.
Eric Terrell, man, thanks for sharing that too, by the way. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, AZ or Nas on Life's a Bitch? I think AZ got him. I love both verses, but I think that AZ had an all-time epic verse, and Nas just had another incredible verse. I think the other thing about AZ on Illmatic is the fact that we got numb to the fact that Nas was just perfect on Illmatic. So when you hear one different voice on there doing some incredible shit, it's going to stand out.
And can I say something? It's like, well,
Mhm.
he's addressing mental health, but he's not doing anything about mental health. That's part of the issue that I raised. It's like, no, it's great writing. Like, you're addressing it. You're not doing anything about it. What is he doing to piggyback up off of it from these shows? Or is he doing any ad campaigns? Is he going into black communities and talking about these mental health issues that he's talking about on this album? It's all rhetoric, Mike. I mean, it's the same equivalent to as when all this happened to me. They put me on medication for the first time. And actually, it's the medication that actually led me to smoking weed. Because it's like, oh, well, if you're just going to try to numb me out for a few hours, I'd rather just smoke some weed than take some fucking medication. So I did medication for about 6 months. And by the time my ass was down in Atlanta, I was smoking for medicinal purposes because I refused to take the fucking medication. It's like, what is he providing to the community with this rhetoric? Is he providing any sort of medicinal purposes? Is he providing any sort of piggyback? Is he providing any sort of angles or outlets? Is he providing any sort of treatment facilities that are going to help those who are coming from these inner city angst situations with mental health issues? No, he is not. It is all smoke, mirrors. It is straight talk. This is from somebody who's 40 years old that's had mental health issues since they can fucking remember. I know a fraud when I see one.
Well, you know what's interesting though? When you got such an introspective album like this, you would think that this would be
It's
the
not
time.
that introspective.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, where he's digging into topics that he hadn't been digging in before. You would think this would be the time to actually do interviews. You know what I mean? Like, this would be a great album to do interviews on, to actually expound upon some of these, some of his writings. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He's not prepared to discuss these things. How about this? He's not prepared to explore the discourse of his lust and infidelity issues live, since he likes to talk about them. He's not really ready to talk about them. It's like, yeah, you talk about cheating on her and you really talk about the why, but you really don't delve into it. No. Come on Front Street and really talk about it, since you like addressing these serious issues so much and then staying the fuck away.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, what do you think is the best flow ever? Rhyme scheme. I think Big's verse on Notorious Thugs. You know what? I personally think on that song specifically, Crazy had the best flow on there.
I was thinking Twister on Pope Pimp, actually.
Jeez. You know, I think I was listening to...
Had you heard something like that before you heard Twister on Pope Pimp? Had you heard somebody flow like that with that rhyme scheme and pattern and put it together? Because he was going fast, but he was also chopping it up at certain points and slowing it down and then speeding back up and breaking it like he was, you know?
I think that's one of the greatest verses ever, in my personal opinion. Like, as far as, like, the timing of it, how he showed up on it, and we didn't expect anything like that.
Yeah.
Crazy Bones flow. I think I don't know what I was listening to, but I think it was 1999 because that just, you know, celebrated anniversary. I want to say it might have been his verse on Down 71. One of those records, man. Like, his flow was just beautiful, man.
Most perfect.
No, I think it was the intro because we were just talking about the intro. Execution Double 9 stuff.
Execution Double 9
When
style.
he came in, it's like, man, the nigga just, his flow is incredible. I'm sorry, I love Big. I don't even think that's one of Big's best flows. When you said I read Big, I thought you were going to say like the Total song or something.
I mean, there's so many Biggie flows to actually go to on that album for me that actually kind of precede that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think his flow...
Because I don't even think he beat out Bone on their own flow.
No, he just was able to adopt their flow in a way a New York MC of his caliber hadn't before, or even cared. Like, how about this? There was something very humility. There was humility and an endearing quality to Big doing that. It's saying, no, I know I'm the biggest thing in rap right now, and a lot of people think I'm the best MC, but these guys are so dope that I'll pick up their style for my record on my album, because these guys are that dope. Like, New York guys, nobody was ever humble enough that was as great as Big, and I'm going to tell you why. They were all greater than Big was early. Big's path was different. Nas was really great early. Rakim, K, all these guys really great early. Big was greater later. The great Big is on 95 on, so you don't hear him like that on Ready to Die. You hear him flash. So his appreciation and respect for other artists outside of New York is probably different than all the other top-tier New York MCs before him because of that.
Ray Realms with the super chat says, "You two brothers podcast aid in my mental health in a dramatic way." We appreciate that. He said, "Were you able to read my Cash App from earlier today?" You know what? Let me check on that now. I know I'll be having my phone off during the broadcast. But yeah. Appreciate the love, Ray Rims. You've always been consistent with it as well. You've been following us for a long time, man. Before we even had maybe
Right.
like 50 people in the
I'm
room.
about to say he
So,
was
yeah.
one of the first 50 people in this room. It feels like.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray. So that street kind of worked two ways. This show helps me with my mental health and my sanity too. I actually had lunch with a dear friend today, and one of the things that we talked about was healthy boundaries. And it's like, well, I really won't have a drink unless it's Wednesday and Friday when I'm doing According to Hip Hop, because I know I'm off and I know I'm free. I'm in my comfortable place. I'm in my happy place. I'm in my safe space, and I feel okay. So it's like According to Hip Hop kind of helps me with my mental health issues as well, and gives me something to look forward to when things are not personally okay, you know, just truthfully speaking. In the last 3-4 years have been a total bitch. So if anybody like personally speaking, the last 3-4 years have just been total hell. So, you know, I've been through a whole fucking divorce. I've moved multiple times. Like, it's been a bitch. It's been a total bitch. It has not been fun. Mike knows a lot what personally has happened. I got arrested last year around this time because my sister had my niece call the fucking police on me while me and Mike were doing a short that is now our Wednesday show. This show has helped heal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was in the middle of a show.
It was literally in the middle of the show.
Shout out to Terry with the Cash App too, and we got you, Ray Rims, too. I didn't see a message with it, but I think he said, you know what? I did see a message. He said, for Wednesday's show, check out my messages. Okay. Well, where are those might be emails. All right. And Terry did a Cash App as well. He says, for Coop, Puffy is the fraud, not Kendrick. Max
Puff is who we thought he was. No, Puff is who we thought he was, and Kendrick is not who y'all say that he is. That's all that I'm saying. And it's okay. Like, y'all think that I'm giving him a hard time. It's not that I'm giving him a hard time. Y'all just giving him too much rope, and I'm just going to have to keep on pointing it out. And if he would like to step out in public and point out otherwise, he is more than welcome to, but he has not.
We need a Kendrick interview, and not with us specifically, because obviously he's going to go to the bigs. But like a Breakfast Club, a Hot 97 or whatever.
Questions, though.
Yeah.
Are they going to ask him any real questions?
They're not. They're going to give him the patty cake questions.
Right.
Yeah. Mad Max with the super chat says, MM is just bad sonically. We cry together. I was talking about Mr. Morale. He said it's just bad sonically. Cry Together is bad music. It was great for the first listen, but it's whack. So when Mr. Morale, it's an agenda album with bad sonics and cringe writing. I'm gonna be honest, man. I haven't really listened to those songs, the ones that we were kind of thrown off by, in a good way. The first listen, I don't go back to those. I go back to the songs that sound like songs, like N95, you know, Silent Hill. Those records, not the records that I don't want to say sound like poetry projects, but hey.
They're just not great hip-hop records. Why can't we just be honest? Like, why can't we just be honest about it? It's like they're not great hip-hop records, because if they were great hip-hop records, you know what we do when there's a... How about this? This is what the album is not. Remember think about how we've been talking about 3 songs off Black Thought's album that we have not heard yet. That's how you know when somebody's making some great hip hop. Because you and me are sitting up here like, I'm like, Mike, I think Aquamarine might be song of the year. You're like, you got a point. Like, I'm like, but Aquamarine ain't that much better than No Gold Teeth, Mike. You're like, got another point there with that. It's like Mike, the Because joint with Joey's like fire too. That's the third best joint. Like, is Kendrick? Why are we talking about Kendrick joint like that? Because it's not like that. Why can't we just be honest and say it? Why does it have to be because it's Kendrick? We have to give him extra points. We ain't never gave no nigga extra points before.
Because
Mike,
people are fans, Coop. They're fans of the people and not the music.
Right. When Rakim came back in 97, I don't remember anybody giving him extra points for the 18th letter like this. It's like, no, Nas and Jay are better. It was like, yeah, in the story.
Nobody wants to admit the drop-off. And obviously with the super chat that came in earlier when they tried to get me for the Beyonce thing, I don't know if people in our chat just are trolling or whatever, but it don't seem like people is really feeling the album like that. But people don't, but because it's certain individuals that we believe so much in, we don't want to face the fact that we're not going to get that anymore. I had to face that fact with Outkast early. Like, I knew it was over. And it's cool. Just remember the times that you had. Even when Michael came with Invincible, I'm like, it's over. I think I start feeling that realization around History. It's over.
I felt that way around History.
Yeah.
I was late on the Outcast thing. You know, why can't we just appreciate what he's already done too?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, no,
he's done some incredible shit.
No, there's nothing wrong with the catalog that he's already amassed up to this point, even if this one's not hitting like that. And then it also begs the thing too. It's just like, well, damn, are y'all gonna let this dude fail? Because Jay has made subpar albums. Nas, Rakim,
it's part of the game.
West, G-Rap, Kane, LL,
but the
Ice
thing
Cube,
is, Coop,
Ray, Ghost, all these guys have made subpar albums. It's like, if he makes a subpar, it's like, no, he can't make a subpar album. He's our savior. It's like, he just said he didn't want to be your savior, nigga. This shit's subpar.
The problem is, Coop, he gave them a 6-year break, and they don't want to face the realization that
he gave you nothing then.
I mean, if this album would have dropped 2 years after Damn or something, people might be a little bit more honest about it.
They're not being honest about this record. Nobody's running around playing this stuff.
No.
Like, think about this. It's like, when you got the Post, like, I ain't never seen something just, no. Where's it playing at? Who talking about it?
Crack Blue with the super chat says, in terms of great albums, what do y'all think was the best year in hip-hop?
Probably 95. 95, 96, wouldn't you say, Mike?
96 was the first one that popped in my head, but the density of 95.
I think 95 has the components that 94 and 96 has in a nice medium.
It
like
does.
96
has the haymakers, but yeah, 95 is deeper.
Right. Like 96 has 94 level, 95 has 94 level haymakers, but 96 level depth. It's like, well, there's not an Illmatic or Ready to Die, but it's like, well, shit, you got the Infamous and the Purple Tape. It's like, oh, well, that's pretty damn close. Never mind. You do have it. You do have Illmatic and Ready to Die actually the following year. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, well, you got the Purple Tape and the Infamous. It's like, that's about as close as Illmatic and Ready to Die you gonna get.
What about 88? What do you think about 88 when it comes to that conversation?
I mean, isn't that really more about Public Enemy and Rakim specifically? Like pull up 88. That's Greatest Adventures.
Slick Rick, yeah.
Yeah, that's Greatest Adventures. Follow the Leader. It Takes a Nation, right?
Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton.
It's a lot of stuff in 88.
That's top heavy though, Mike. That's what I'm saying.
It's a lot of stuff in 88. I want to say, by all means necessary is that
year. I say, is that KRS too?
Yeah, it's a lot in that year.
That might be the best 5 lineup.
I want to say Big Daddy Kane's debut.
Long Live the Kane?
Long Live the Kane is 88. Yeah.
I mean, I think when we have talked traditionally in hip-hop spheres, it's been like 88, 94, 95, 96 have been the definite years, it feels like.
94 was a transitional year, but I don't think it has the depth that 95, 96,
I'm
and 88
cool with taking
have.
94 off because I feel like what 94 really has is Illmatic, Ready to Die, and Southern Playalistic.
What do you think about 98 fitting in any of that? 98 is pretty deep.
Hell is Hot, Aquemini, Moment of Truth.
Yeah.
Volume 2.
Capital Punishment.
The Real I Am.
Are we counting Miseducation?
No, we're not.
We're not. Antonio with the super chat says,
R&B album.
do you think that Nas will eventually release I Am as a double album as intended? The 25th anniversary would be a great time to do so. We were just talking about 98. That'll be next year, right? Brooklyn.
It's not happening.
He says, much love from Brooklyn, New York. Much love to Brooklyn. We love Brooklyn. Y'all are awesome. Your opinions give me another perspective outside of mine, even if I don't always agree with some of the takes. What's your opinion on Eminem? No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say that. I said that. You know what? We had a string of great shows without even mentioning Eminem. What does that say? DeCarlo with the super chat says, Coop, Kendrick was literally hailed as the greatest MC of his generation, and now because of 6 years off and a mid-album, he loses credibility?
Listen to what people are saying. Do you understand how delusional they sound? It's like, oh, he just took 6 years off. Nigga,
No one takes 6 years off. Ever.
Hold on, listen to this. Hold on, listen to this. When did Section 80 come out? Is that 2010, Mike?
Section 80 is 11, I think.
Okay, so we got somebody pulling up in 2011 for certain, right?
Yeah.
By 2016, they're gone, and they pull back up with this, and you're making it seem like that. No, that's
Like he
how
spent
about this?
half of his career on a break.
Right. You want to know what it is? It's like, how about this? How do you all rate Grant Hill? Grant Hill is my favorite basketball player growing up. I'm a Duke fan. What Grant Hill's first 5-6 seasons look like?
Great.
They look like some of the best basketball work ever, don't they?
Yeah. Best small forward in the game.
Clearly, while Scottie Pippen was in his prime and around, Grant Hill was the best small forward in the game. Mike, I'm going to go a step further. He was one of the 5 best players in basketball those 5-6 years.
He was great.
He was great. I thought he was better than Penny.
Yeah. And I love Penny. Penny was my go-to when Jordan retired. Yeah.
Right. And I love Penny too. Grant
but
Hill
as far as like being an all-around player, like rebounding, scoring, passing, we've never seen anything like that at that position.
Better rebounder and passer than KD at the small forward position.
Honestly, man, I know a lot of people don't want to say this because LeBron just physically and athletically is different.
He was LeBron before LeBron.
He was LeBron before LeBron. He was the first thing that we saw that was like it. Yeah.
And he had a better first step.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was that deal. People forget. He's like, no. He was walking around averaging 25, 8, and 8 like it was nothing. It was damn near a threat to get a triple-double every night he stepped on the court.
But his time off took away from a lot of that.
But after those first 5 to 6 years, Mike, what happened? Well, he got hurt, and he really didn't play regularly for about another 4, 5, 6 years. Now, did he?
Yeah.
And his legacy took a hit because of that. He was first team All-NBA, co-rookie of the year with Jason Kidd. First team All-NBA. Like, and those 5 to 6 great years weren't enough to put him Mike, when we're talking about the greatest small forwards of all time, is he in the conversation with LeBron and Larry Bird and Kevin Durant?
No.
Like, for the 5-6 years that we saw, he should be, right?
Yeah.
But has he put enough work in for him to be put in that conversation?
Nope.
Then how can we sit up there and do this about Kendrick, but we understand this about Grant Hill's 5-6 years of basketball? This nigga rapped for 5 or 6 years and disappeared for another 5-6 years, came back with some mid. Let's rate it like that. How about that?
It is what it is. ED with the super chat says, is J. Cole currently the best rapper in the game? If not him, who? What say you?
Go J. Cole.
J. Cole?
Yeah. Yeah. Because when I'm starting to look back at it, and this is what I'm about to say.
I mean, I guess we're not counting Black Thought and Nas, right?
Right. I guess let's keep it modern era. But here's one thing that's starting to happen too, and even I have to admit this. J. Cole's catalog is starting to age better. I'm not saying it's aging better than Kendrick.
True. That's true.
But these songs, Mike, some of the stuff that we didn't love, we're going back and playing it now, and it's like, no, that shit's holding up pretty damn well.
Yeah, you're right. His stuff's holding up really well. I must admit, and I was one of the big people on some J. Cole's catalog can't touch Kendrick's catalog. Because Kendrick album for album was just, excellent. But like you said, when they talk about how well these songs are aging, like when's the last time you popped in Damn like that?
No, that's what I'm saying. I see somebody named Cam Porter keeps drop Pusha T in the track, which I think is funny. I met a white dude named Mike today from Pittsburgh. Mike, this is no lie. His favorite MC is Pusha T. He works in finance now, but he used to move a half a brick when he was in college. He told me this today because he was like, what do you do? Because he heard me talking to Matt. I was with Matt. He was like, what do you do? I was like, I got a podcast. I saw him according to Hip-Hop Business Card and stuff. And he was like, who's your favorite rapper? I was like, Nas. He was like, mine's Pusha T. I was like, that's my number 2. I was like, well, what the fuck do you know about Pusha T? I was like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 38. I was like, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm like, my family's from Newcastle, Youngstown. He's like, I know about y'all. I went to such. He's like, yeah, I know all about that. I'm like, but why the fuck do you like Pusha T? Didn't you just tell me you was in financial services? He's like, I used to move a half a brick a week when I was in college. I was like, oh shit.
So he was listening to Hell Hath No Fury for real.
No, Mike, I spit a bar from Hell Hath No Fury, and he finished it because he related.
Yeah. That's
what I'm saying. It's like, no, the streets got, that's what I'm saying. I sat next to a 38-year-old white guy today. He used to move a half a brick in college, and it's like, he listened to Push the way I am and could finish my Pusha T bars. When I said make your skin crawl, he said press one button, make the wind fall. Who gonna stop us? Fuck the coppers. The mind of a kilo shopper, seeing my life through the windshields of choppers. I ain't spent one rap dollar in 3 years. Holla. Yeah, it's real. Go ahead.
All right, Mad Max with the super chat says, You gave K-Dot the rope when he made To Pimp a Butterfly. K-Dot's someone that when he's not forced to make real albums, he goes off on the rails. Damn and Good Kid, Mad City are the only albums that he made that were formatted well. I will say that when I listened to Damn, I was more of a To Pimp a Butterfly fan, but I understood the fact that Damn was like, it was connecting better. And it was kind of like him mixing his growth from Good Kid, Mad City with the artistic growth of To Pimp a Butterfly. But it had the replay value that Good Kid, Mad City was giving you, at least at the time. And I don't know how well Damn has aged, though. I mean,
I think it's aged. That's what I mean. How about this? His stuff is aged well, but not wonderfully. Yeah. Cole shit is starting to age wonderfully. Yeah. Like some of that early Cole stuff, you're starting to hear it now, and it feels hip hop nostalgic in a classic way when you're hearing it now. You know what I mean? Because it's 2022. So some of that 2010, 2012 Cole stuff, like some of that Born Center stuff, Mike.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's starting to hit a little different now because it's starting to get more of a classic feel to it. It's starting to sound more hip hop classic. And you're starting to see his influence on the Sphere a little bit more in terms of what dudes sound like and how they format songs together and the vulnerability. Because one of the things that I'm starting to realize is that Cole is actually more vulnerable than Kendrick is.
He is. And he'll sit down and talk with you about it too.
Like, think about it when he's talking, what's that joint on Forest Hill? I was just thinking about that song the other day where he's talking about having sex, like he ain't had sex before the first time.
Are you talking about Wet Dreams?
Wet Dreams.
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about the line where he's talking about, pulling my shit out, wondering if it's big enough. I'm like, no, Kendrick don't talk with that type of vulnerability. He talks on a vulnerability that you feel like makes you think that he's deeper than he is. Cole's actually saying the deep personal shit. Like the personal shit that a man thinks when he's pulling his dick out for the first time about to have sex. You feel me?
I feel you. Pause. Jay Short with the super chat says, outside of Do or Die, can you make a classic album in that rapidy rap style? Tretch, Twista, Kool Moe Dee, they don't have classics in that style. Even M had to change his flow on the Eminem show.
He's right. M's flow had to change.
I think that's his best piece of work.
And I don't think AZ's, okay, and you want to know what's crazy? You know what I love about AZ's Do or Die, Mike? That is something that was not considered a classic by anybody when it came out because it came right around. Think about this. Do or Die is scrunched between the Purple Tape and Liquid Swords.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So nobody thought it was classic because it's not better than either one of those albums. But you know what it is? It's holding up the way Cole stuff is holding up. It's like the more you go and listen to it, it's like, no, that's classic East Coast hip hop shit right there.
Those are the things you can't predict, man. And that's one of the things with the fact that we review music on the day that it comes out. Sometimes we do have to kind of, modify some of our statements because sometimes music takes on a life of its own and you just don't know how things are going to age when you hear it originally. I'm feeling that way about Damn right now. Like, I remember when I first heard Damn, I'm like, okay, all of this is hitting. But now, I don't know. I'm not going to say that about it.
Let me share something with you right quick since we're on Do or Die briefly.
Mm-hmm.
I was working out the other day and I played Gimme Yours, and that's 95. And I thought to myself, this is why Big started singing hooks. Nas has always been the pace setter in this camp. To Biggie, to Meth, to all these guys. You got Big singing hooks before Nas singing on Gimme Yours in 95? Because I don't.
When did Nas do that Daydreaming over?
Daydream and Stay Screaming, that's the I Am session.
That's the I Am?
That's Player Hater time. He probably heard Player Hater.
Yeah, niggas.
But what I'm saying is that Big heard Gimme Yours, because I just thought about that. I was like, that is Nas singing on Gimme Yours. And I'm trying to think, that's a year after Illmatic.
Yeah.
Just give me for the NYC, give me what you can't get back. That's Nas, right?
Yep. Nas
Isn't that
is
the
the
same
pace
kind
setter.
of Biggie flow that where he's singing on play? Give me, just give me. Like that's the saying.
Jay Short says, no Penny slander ever. Never. We love Penny.
Ooh, more money, more murder, more homicide, and a mahogany. Light scenery, that was lightning and raindrops. I'm tied up in a basement cocaine spot like Bangkok. Vietnam type mind control.
D Nice with the super chat says Twista's Adrenaline Rush is a classic answer to the last super chat.
I agree.
Think it is too.
I agree.
I had that shit on tape, man. Inspector with the super chat says Grant Hill was supposed to be the greatest ever.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the next Michael Jordan.
I thought he was. How about this? These top 10, 15 conversations that we're having, the only player that I've seen come along since Grant Hill that I know for a fact is better than Grant Hill are KD and LeBron and Kobe. Like, for a fact. Like, KD, LeBron, and Kobe, only players I've seen since Grant Hill. It's like, no, that got better. And a lot of that is just about staying healthy.
Yeah. DeCarlo says, so the Black Panther soundtrack and writing for other artists doesn't count?
No.
It doesn't count at all. Well, you know what? Let's just say this. Let's keep it real. And I know people want to bring up the Black Panther, but he didn't do a whole lot of stuff on the Black Panther soundtrack.
Well, no, here's what I thought about. How much credit do we give Kane for what he wrote?
Right, for Biz Marquee.
Right. How much credit do we give Kane for what he wrote?
Yeah.
We don't be walking around here giving Kane credit like that. And
who else did he write for?
I was about to say, and Biz ain't the only one that has been rumored that Kane done wrote for. There's all types of smoke and flames flying right around who Kane may have wrote for. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
And if you listen to some bars, it sounds like it's a possibility. And if you look at the fact that Marley Marl is a producer on a lot of those records.
Right.
I'm just going to say less.
I don't want to go down that road.
I'm not going down that hole, but I'm just going to say less. If it looked like a duck.
Right.
It sound like a duck. And it's saying pimping ain't easy like Big Daddy Kane. Nigga Kane wrote that shit.
Interesting, right? Ray Rims with the super chat says, I phased them as messages. I'm sorry. He said he phrased them as messages because I text them to the website. Coop's testimonial made me wonder which album illustrated an artist's mental health the most. I know where you're going to go. Go ahead.
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
Part of the reason why I love Ready to Die is because I don't think people understand what Big's going through on Ready to Die. I think Ready to Die is one of the biggest testimonies about mental health issues that you'll hear.
I thought you were going to go to Diary.
I'm not. My mama got cancer in her breast. Don't ask me why I'm motherfucking stressed. Things done changed. That's the first song.
Ready to Die is heavy.
My mother won't give me what I want. What the fuck? Now I got a Glock making motherfuckers duck. Shit is real, and hungry's how I feel. I rob and steal because that money got that whip appeal. Yeah, it sounds like he's having mental health issues. Yeah. Can't explain how I maintain the crack smoke, make my brain feel so strange. Doesn't it sound like Big going through mental health issues?
Yeah.
A nigga that's saying, give me the baby rings and a #1 mom pendant is on some other shit, Mike.
Yeah.
Give me the baby rings and a #1 mom pendant. I'm slamming niggas like Shaquille. Shit is real. Yeah, mental health issues, Ready to Die. Biggie Smalls passed in any test. I'm ready to die. What more of a mental health indictment do you want?
And then you end with suicidal thoughts.
It's literally ending an album with suicidal thoughts. Yeah. The tone and the theme of the album is I'm ready to die. Yeah. It is a mental health issue indictment of the highest order. I don't want to live no more. Yeah. Sometimes I hear death knocking at the front door. I'm living every day like a hustle, another drug to juggle, another day, another struggle. That is the black man's mental health plight in the modern day era.
What did he say? I mean, I know what it's like. Wake up, fucked up, pockets broke as hell, another rock to sell. People looking at you like losers, selling drugs to all the losers, bad Buddha
abusers. But they don't know about the stress-filled days.
Baby on the way, mad bills to pay. That's why you drink Tanqueray. Yeah.
So you can reminisce and wish you wasn't living so devilish. Shit.
I remember being just like you. Yeah. The Carlo with the super chat says, the whole black community celebrated To Pimp a Butterfly when it was winning all the Grammys. Now y'all want to call it mid. Just tear him down, shaking my head. No. To Pimp a Butterfly is not mid.
No.
I told everybody.
You're totally mistaken what we're saying.
I told everybody when I heard To Pimp a Butterfly for the first time, I was like, this might be the best hip-hop album I heard since Supreme Clientele. And I still love To Pimp a Butterfly, but it plays like a play. It's very theatrical from beginning to end, and if you listen to it in that way and take it in that way, You could take it that way, but song for song, the way we listen to hip hop, it doesn't play as well as some of the other classics. I'll just say it that way.
Okay, so I think the album that it gets comped to the most is Aquemini, and It Takes a Nation of Millions to hold us back. Go play it next to those two albums. Watch how it gets blown out the fuck. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, so when you want to go start sitting it next to the greatest pieces of work ever and like get your feelings hurt if you want to.
Well, play it next to Supreme Clientele. Play it next to Supreme Clientele.
You don't want to do that. Mike, I thought about something the other day. And it's funny that you're bringing up Supreme Clientele. Supreme Clientele is some other shit, Mike.
It is, man.
That's some other shit. We're not going to hear Supreme Clientele again. I realized that the other day. We're not going to hear anything about like Supreme Clientele again. That's special. Like I was actually thinking it's borderline top 10. I think I got it at like 12, 13, 14, but it's like, no, that's a top 10 rap album type consideration.
So have you conceded that it's better than Liquid Swords?
I feel the same way about Liquid Swords, but what I'm trying to tell you is like the purple tape's importance overshadows Liquid Swords' importance. Supreme Clientele's importance doesn't get overshadowed by another all-time great Wu-Tang album, and so that would give it the advantage. I still personally prefer Liquid Swords, but Mike, even when I made my list, I literally went Supreme Clientele 13, Liquid Swords 14, because it's like that.
Yeah. LP with the super chat says, the realest shit I ever wrote. No not Pac inspired, it's crack rock inspired. My real niggas quotes. Pusher on another level.
That's Keys Open
Hell
Doors.
Have No Fury. Keys Open Doors is crazy.
Yeah.
Cam Porter with the super chat says, is Cole the perfect mix of Nas? And I know Prime Nas is light years ahead lyrically. And Kanye West?
Not light years ahead, and no, don't agree with that sentiment. He doesn't have...
I think he's a good mixture of the two.
I can see that, but here's
from the introspective way, you know, where like you said, he gets vulnerable in that way.
Man, Nas and Ye are really big stars. I don't think people understand that. Like Nas has an air of mystery and mystique to him, and Ye's just like a rock star of the highest order. And so it's like if you're just talking about the MC work, yeah, but like the star power isn't there.
Reggie with the super chat says, I just ordered both yearbooks, guys. Keep grinding, fellas. Appreciate that, man. Good looking. Yes, at the top of the chat, you should see that you're able to order the yearbook, the 2021 one. I think we got that pinned to the top, and you should be able to get the digital copy of the 2020 one as well in the chat or in the group or however it's showing up. It's not showing up on my end, but 2021 is. I don't know if you see it on your end, Coop. Yeah, it's only 20.
Yeah,
we going with the whole theme, right? Ethan Hill with the super chat says, didn't K-Dot address his size on We Cry Together?
Okay, that's cool. J. Cole just did it like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago, though. So I'm saying, you see how these people be fighting for him? It's like, I'm bringing up role models from Forest Hills Drive. It's like, oh, talking about something he said in 2022? So
Michael Williams with the super chat.
2014, it was 8 years ago.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, the other day you were talking about the best 4 album runs. I think Jimi Hendrix would have had that if he lived. He had the best 3 in my opinion. Jimmy's a sad case, man. Like, I think you and I were talking about that. I think Jimi and Biggie's passing or deaths are the most tragic in music history because the ceiling was so high. Excuse me. Like, I feel like Pac gave us everything that Pac was going to give us and left us with a lot. But I think that the ceiling was so high for Jimi Hendrix and for Biggie that it's really sad that, you know, as artists and as fans of music, it's so much music that we just never got.
Kurt Cobain and John Lennon and Tupac gave us material.
Mm-hmm.
So the Biggie Hendrix thing is real due to the brevity of material.
And just seeing where they were and how they would continue.
Well, I feel like, I mean, when he's saying Jimmy's album, it's like, well, I don't know about classic for the first 2. I don't. Just truthfully. We're just
Jimmy was pioneering a lot of shit that was coming after.
If you want to say pioneering, if you want to say innovative.
So, like, the innovative nature and where he was going, it's no telling what he would have came up with.
Right. No, and
I always wanted to hit Big, man. I mean, all right, so after Big was murdered in 97, I want to say what? Timberland came around 97-ish, right? Neptunes really came around 99, 2000, like for real, for real. And I ain't even talking about like the Nori record. I'm talking about when people really started utilizing them because they were around, but when they really went on their run, it was like 99, 2000. I would have loved to have heard Biggie over a Neptune or Timbaland track, Just Blaze track. Kanye and Biggie would have been great.
I think Biggie could have rapped on anything.
Anything.
But here's what I will tell you is that Timberland's pace, I don't think Biggie would have loved. And so I think he probably would have worked with the Neptunes and Kanye more because of the melodic nature of it. This is a big man with a heavy, thick voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what he's doing on Notorious Thug, well, he's rapping like that on Notorious Thugs because he's not about to rap like that regularly. You get what I'm saying?
I don't hear him on Jigga What, Jigga Who taking it
That's
on
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
way that Jay did.
He don't do that.
Got a
Like,
condom with nothing but condoms in it. Same place with a rounds of in it.
So all I do is rap and sex. Imagine how I stroke. See how I was flowing on my last set, grabbing fire like and grabbing the tech. Jeff Jam though, never get high, never run out of amp. No, Big don't do that.
No, no.
Right. So Timberland's not gonna get big placements like that. But Neptunes, because of the bounce, because Big likes the bounce.
Yeah.
So I can see the Neptunes. I can see Kanye because of the musicality. I told you, Mike.
The soul of it all. Like I can hear Big on.
I'm gonna tell you.
I can hear Big on Heart of the City.
Me too. The real killer, Mike. Big and Jay Dilla. That's the one.
That would have been great.
Big and Dilla.
No, that
Big and Dilla is what I want to hear.
That would have been great.
That would have been great because I think.
What about Big and Dr. Dre? What do you think about Big and Dr. Dre?
How about this? I think Big would have. I think Dilla's beats emotionally would have bought something more in depth out of Big that we didn't get while he was here.
What do you think about Big and Dr. Dre?
I don't too much. I want to hear Big and Dilla, but I'm cool with that. Would be one of those big meetings type of things, you know. But it's like, to be honest with you, the way that Dr. Dre has handled the Rakim situation and the Firm situation, I really haven't trusted him handling East Coast artists since. I really wouldn't want him working with Big either. You can't be trusted with East Coast artists, quite frankly.
Jay Short with the super chat says the best album run is Stevie. 6 straight classics.
Correct.
Cannot argue with that.
We do not disagree right here.
Ed says, what's your favorite album closer? And what's more important, the intro or the outro? Well, I think the intro is more important. I think the best album closer, y'all going to kill me for this one, but I think the College Dropout, Last Call.
Still nobody till somebody kills you.
Okay, I'm with that.
Till somebody does otherwise. Till somebody ends an album with a song better than that and more chilling than that, with a better rhyme scheme pattern and better rhymes and a better hook and a better name it.
I'm okay with that. That's chilling.
It's into a rap album ever. It's not. I mean, for me, it's not even like close. It's like the last song on everybody's album is worse than that. Everybody's album.
So hold on. You're not even going to entertain Last Call on the College Dropout.
I'll entertain It Ain't Hard to Tell on Illmatic.
That's a great closer too. But again, the story and everything that comes with that College Dropout, you know, it's the thing where it's like Reasonable Doubt, right? Like I think one of the big things about Reasonable Doubt and why it's held so high and aged so well is because of who the guy became. And I think that when you hear Last Call and where he's coming from with it, where he was at that point, what he ended up being, and just the story that he tells, how everybody played him out. Like everything that was in that documentary series on Netflix, he said that on Last Call for the most part. Like we saw that visually, but we knew the story because he's told us these things before. And we've heard it in the music. And I thought that was just such a great close to, man, just such a gutsy album. The weird part about College Dropout is the fact that its greatness isn't really in the skill set per se of him as an MC. It's in a lot of intangible things that you can't really describe, like soul, like just guts and just taking risks.
Heart.
Yeah, heart. That album has
that album has more heart than maybe any hip hop album ever. Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
but that doesn't trump with my sycamore style, more sicker than yours. 4-4 and 54 draw has my pilot, steers my leer. Yes, my dear, shit's official. Only the feds I fear. Here's a tissue. Stop your blood clot crying.
The kid's a
dog. Everybody dying, no lying. So don't you get suspicious. I'm big dangerous. You just a little vicious.
Even the way that shit comes on.
As I leave my competition respirator style on the last one. As I leave my competition respirator style. Climb the ladder to success, escalator style. Oh no, ain't no better ending to a rap album than that. I'm sorry. No, it's not. Nobody's rapping like that on the last song. It's like, here's a last chin check for you niggas on my way out the door.
Right. Esquire with the super chat says, if you want to hear Big over Dilla, listen to Busta Rhymes, The Ugliest, unreleased.
I've heard The Ugliest. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like some real live, like
really sitting
Dilla
there,
Big,
yeah.
like right.
Colin King with the super chat says,
at least where Big get a catalog of Dilla beat CDs like some of these other dudes has gotten. Like, you know what I'm saying, to filter through and be like, oh no, give me that. Like I told you, imagine Biggie on 10 bricks.
Right.
Right.
Colin King with the super chat says, Kanye got the best album run, y'all. I ain't mad at that.
No, he doesn't.
Hassan Sykes says, who would Tupac sound great with today as far as producers? I would like to see Tupac and Kanye once again.
I don't think Tupac ever reached his peak of really working with producers, so it'd be interesting to hear him with everybody almost. That was one of the things I thought was about to be interesting about the second part of his career, was him maybe, working with people that were comparable to his greatness.
I'm trying to think. I think, again, Kanye, I hate to just continue to throw his name in the pot. I would like to see Tupac and the Alchemist. I'd like to see
Kanye and Pac more than I want to see Big and Kanye.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. Pac and Premier. I think that's an interesting pairing that I would like to see.
He's a fundamentally sound writer. He's actually our most technically sound and proficient writer and poet.
Yeah.
And that's our most technically fundamentally sound beat maker, like boom boom bap producer. So I could see that working. Like that whole Picture Perfect, like the beat to America's Most Wanted. Like Primo could do that beat.
Yeah.
Picture Perfect.
Rhythmic wise.
Perfect picture. Obama hoochie with precision, my intention to get with. Yeah. No. I can see that.
Balimbo with the super chat says, what about Mortal Man by Kendrick Lamar?
I love Mortal Man.
Record.
That's my second favorite song on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, you picked that as one of your favorites on the album, yeah.
It is. I love Mortal Man. When shit hits the fan, are you still a fan?
Reggie with the super chat says,
it's like I was, and then you left for 6 years and dropped some mids. So like I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, just like your album is. How about that?
Reggie says, Biggie and Havoc. Biggie and RZA. Biggie and the Alchemist. Now, we got Biggie and RZA. That happened.
Yeah, Long Kiss Goodnight. Right before you nobody. The best album ending ever goes My Downfall. The Long Kiss Goodnight. You're nobody till somebody kills you. The Long Kiss Goodnight is produced by RZA.
Yeah. Hassan Sykes with the super chat says, Against All Odds on Machiavelli is a great ending. Yeah, it is.
I'm cool with that too. Hey Nas, your whole damn style was bitten, and he in the background, niggas sound like Rakim. It's like it's getting greasy at the end. It's like, oh, it's bad.
Michael Williams with the super chat says, is Do or Die more lyrical than Reasonable Doubt?
Comparable.
I don't think so.
How about this? This is why the Evils is
but not by a lot. I don't think so.
The Evils and Can I Live is so special because it expresses a depth that you don't find lyrically on Do or Die. And so it's Reasonable Doubt because of that. But if you're just talking about the bar work,
is Jay-Z's most lyrical album.
Right, but if you're talking about the verbiage, it's like, AZ got better verbiage, but AZ has better verbiage than Nas too. So it's like, just don't slide it over to Jay. It's like, no. I mean, the verbiage on Do or Die is actually better than the verbiage on Illmatic, and that doesn't make it more lyrical than Illmatic because it's not that.
I mean, even rhyme schemes like y'all niggas lunching, punching the clock. My function is to make lunch and lay back. Like, no.
No, because he got stuff before any titty boppers try to stop us. You rather put your heads through the propellers of a helicopter. It's like, no, he's got shit on there. How you say that?
I'm just saying, like, in relation to other Jay stuff, like the way Jay's rapping on Reasonable Doubt, he's somewhere else on that.
No, he's one of the greatest MCs of all time, like on Reasonable Doubt. So, like, yeah.
DeCarlo says Mortal Man is the greatest close to an album I've ever heard in my life. Nothing beats interviewing Tupac. That was crazy.
That's true. Nothing beats a Tupac interview.
You know what? That was a great close to a great album. And again, I think I probably said this on this podcast before. For me, the brilliant moment on To Pimp a Butterfly was the fact that they actually did the research and they were listening to how I actually was doing, and people really weren't feeling the record, and they chose to put the live version on the album. I thought that was brilliant. And where they put it at on the album right before Mortal Man, that was brilliant because I wouldn't have fit anywhere else on that album. The only hiccup on the Pimp a Butterfly for me is King Kunta. It just sounds so out of place. I think they were trying to force a first single on an album that just really, they didn't think All Right was going to do what it did. You know what I'm saying? Like, an album that didn't really have that quintessential single for that time period, they forced it with King Kunta.
I mean, I don't love I, but I hear you.
I don't love I either, but the live version I fuck with. You don't even like that?
It's dope. That's what I mean. Like everything else is better. How about
the
this?
live version made the song sound better. I don't like the regular one.
I don't like the regular version at all.
Yeah, the live one made that so. You know what? The regular one, let's just say the regular one's a 6. The live is an 8.
Okay.
And that was a very smart decision to put the live one on that album. I agree with you
because hold on. If the original version of I is on there, doesn't that hurt the rating of that album?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you got to place this song somewhere, and you're not going to place this song right before Mortal Man. No, it's gonna. If the regular I's on there, it's gonna be towards the front of the album.
Okay, so I want to say this is like there's a whole. People have to understand. There's a whole following of people, Mike. Like you and me, we're 40. There's a whole group of people that's 35 and under. He's everything. And what I just keep saying respectfully is that, well, no, he's not.
Con King says...
No, listen to what I'm saying. It's like, think about this. In 1998, no, forget that. 1996, if I would have been like, man, Nas is everything, niggas be like, yo, you crazy. It's like, we got Pac, we got Big, we got Jay, we got Redman, we got Wu-Tang, we got Outkast. Nas ain't everything. That's what people have done for Kendrick because the game has suffered. And it's like, no, guys, nobody's had it like that. And if you guys think that he had it like that, we're going to start dissecting it and breaking it down and really showing you what it is. And that's all I'm doing and what's going on. People have given, to whom much is given, much is expected. And it's like, oh, well, if it's holding up like that, fam, let's go ahead and check and see. And we checking and seeing it's not holding up like that. You rapped for 5 years straight. You disappeared for 5 years straight. You came back with a subpar ass piece of product. These are facts.
Con King with the super chat says, love how Coop's face completely changes when they mention K-Dot. Hassan Sykes says, Undying Love and I Dedicate My Life is a great album ending. DeCarlo says, Bomb First, the greatest intro ever. Fight.
I like Bomb First. We
got another super chat says, Coop, what do you like about Kendrick Lamar?
What do I like about Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah, say something nice. It's incredible lyricist. Great storyteller.
No. I think that Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, and To Damn is one of the most remarkable album runs in music history. I just have a problem with people acting like people like Scarface and Rakim and Nas and Ice Cube didn't exist and do comparable things with comparable work for stretches of time. Even Jay. You feel what I'm saying? It's like the problem isn't Kendrick. The problem is that people from this generation are behaving as if this is the first guy that's come along and done this. And it's like, well, are you familiar with Scarface's catalog? Are you familiar with the first 5 years of Ice Cube's career, which is better than the first 5 years of Kendrick's career? He's not even having the best 5-year run from a West Coast artist.
I think it is noteworthy for me to mention when Damn came out, Coop wrote an article on accordingtohiphop.com, and y'all can go check it out now, saying that Kendrick was a top 10 MC. So
I still had Ice Cube and Scarface ahead of him then for these very reasons, because I was very clear that their catalogs were still better even when he released Damn, and that's why Damn was live.
Jay Short,
hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on, let's do this right quick.
Yeah.
Mike, America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, The Predator, and the Kill at Will EP.
And Straight Outta Compton.
And Straight Outta Compton, if you want to go there. Now let's go Section 80.
We can't not go there. He did most of the writing on there.
Right, he did most of the writing. Okay, so Mike, so we have Straight Outta Compton, America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, Kill at Will, and what?
The
Predator?
Yeah. No, Lethal Injection.
Lethal Injection.
Yeah.
Go line Kendrick shit up. Let's go.
Yeah. Jay Short
Section
says,
80 versus Straight Outta Compton. No, hold on. You want to talk about kicking down the motherfucking door?
Yeah.
Straight Outta Compton or Section 80?
Straight Outta Compton.
America's Most Wanted or Good Kid, Mad City?
For me, I'm going America's Most, but if somebody said Good Kid, Mad City, I wouldn't be mad.
How about this? Here's what I'll tell you. That's a draw to me. But what if I told you Death Certificate's still better than To Pimp a Butterfly? Because that shit's real.
It is.
Right.
No. But see, again, Death Certificate is in my lane.
So hold on. So listen, Ice Cube never gets talked about as the greatest MC of all time. He has a catalog that's comparable to Kendrick's.
Yeah. Does he get
talked about as the greatest MC of all time the way Kendrick does?
He should be, but no.
That's all I'm saying about how people got Kendrick overrated, because it's like, no, you need to talk about him the way you talk about Ice Cube, the way you talk about Scarface.
Jay Short says, why does no one seem to want the number one spot? You know who does want it? Jack Harlow. He said that. He got in the Rolling Stone interview and said he wants the number one spot. He said he wants to be the best MC in the game or best rapper in the game, however he said it, for the next 10 years.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like when you are actually the best. That's what I'm saying. This is like, fuck all that. No, I'm serious. It's
no.
This is what I mean. Is like,
I'm just saying what he said. I'm just pulling quotes from his article.
I think people, when I'm talking about Ice Cube, Mike, you and I weren't hip hop heads enough for Ice Cube's run. That's secondhand smoke for us.
Yeah,
but we can go back and listen to material and know what that's before. Like Ice Cube's run is before our time. Me and Mike are becoming heads at the end of Ice Cube's run, right? Mike, aren't you becoming a head like when Death Certificate? When you're listening to the singles on Death Certificate, you're probably becoming a big fan like I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like we're at the end of Ice Cube's run, and it's like
steady mobbing and stuff. You know, you see him on TV raps and stuff like that, but didn't have the whole album. And really didn't even have the mental capacity in 1992 to be able to take in everything the Cube's talking about.
That's what I'm saying. When he did the West Side Connection album, I was more connected to that album because I was a full-fledged hip-hop fan when West Side Connection made their album in 96.
Bow Down was the shit.
Bow Down was the shit. I was 14 years old. That's around the same time that everything else picked up. Wu-Tang, Nas, and all that. So I don't miss Ice Cube's run.
What a time to be alive.
But the way niggas talk about Ice Cube's run, Mike, like they were literally talking like he was the greatest MC of all time. It's like, do all of you Kendrick fans, once again, we got to keep having this conversation. Do you know your history?
ED with the super chat says, is the Black Album era J lyrically better than the Reasonable Doubt J? It's arguable in my opinion. I think that his flow might have been a lot more refined and he might have been more versatile in that way. And I think he probably had those capabilities there. But I think that the fact that, and he even said it himself during the Black Album, that he dumbed it down to double his dollars, prevented him from being more lyrically inclined than the Reasonable Doubt J. Now, whether he had those skill sets and just didn't put them out there, that we don't know that. But as far as what was put down, the Reasonable Doubt J lyrically is still ahead.
Reasonable Doubt is still lyrically his best work.
Mm-hmm.
For me, how about this? The Blueprint is almost his lightning in a bottle moment. 9 of those songs got made in 2 days. That's like the Blueprint to me is what happens when somebody who is all-time great gets into an all-time great zone.
Now, his zone on the Blueprint is historic. Now, I will give you that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Hold on. That's that Clay getting 60 points on 10 dribbles type shit. You feel me? It's like nigga took 10 dribbles, got 60 points. Don't believe I seen that shit. Mike, did you watch the game where Clay got 60 points?
I've seen that.
That's what the Blueprint's like to me, because it's like I was watching it. I remember the way KD and Steph was looking at him like, nigga, you serious?
He's not going to miss anything.
They're like,
yeah.
You wasn't even barely dribbling. That's what the Blueprint is to me. But I think that the Black Album has better flows and better songs, actually. It's just the Blueprint is more of a lightning in a bottle moment that you feel more. I like Jay's delivery more. I like the overall songs a little bit more. Like the high-end songs on the Black Album, I like more than I like the high-end songs on the Blueprint. Just truthfully, just for me.
I disagree with you on half of that. Now, I do agree with you as far as like him rapping. I think he actually rapped better on the
Yes.
Blueprint 2 than he did on the Blueprint. If we just
I
talk
think he
about
rapped better on the
rapping.
Blueprint too. If you're talking lyrically rapping,
Yeah.
he actually rapped better on the Blueprint too than he did on the Black Album and on the Blueprint. If we're talking lyrically,
Right.
But
He
if we're
was
talking
rapping
about putting
crazy
it
on the
together,
Blueprint
like
too.
the flows that are on the Black Album are stunning, but the
Yeah.
song structure and the actual validity and the weight that the songs hold is realer to me. It's like, that's what I mean. Blueprints of lightning in a bottle. It's like, well, you can tell that he's in a lot of beef. He's trying to build out Rockefeller. He's getting older. It seems like he might be dating somebody new. You feel me?
I think the Black Album is his creation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I think that the Black Album is more impressive song and flow wise than the Blueprint. The Blueprint's just a moment. You know what I'm saying? It's got Takeover. It's got You Don't Know. It's got Heart of the City. It's got All I Need.
It's
you know
powerful.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's got those moments. But it's like the dude that's on What More Can I Say? And Allure.
Yeah.
And the storytelling on 99 Problems. The flows on PSA. You know what I'm saying? The lyrical bar work on Threat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The swag on Get the Dirt Off Your Shoulders and Change Clothes. It's like, no, he's doing a nice ass job on
great
Black Album.
balance. Like, you know, it's like he was leading up to that balance and finally got it on the Black Album. Reggie with the super chat says, fellas, we need 5 MCs for a Posse track. 1, who you calling? 2, who's the producer? And who's the first on the track and who gets the last verse? What a complex question. From
Do
a
the MCs have to be alive? Do the MCs have to be alive?
Well, he didn't say that, so you could just. So what, you gonna go Big?
I want Prodigy
Jay,
to start every rap song off. I just want to hear P first to start off a rap song. So I'm taking Prodigy.
I'm gonna go real generic here, man. I'm gonna go Nas, J, Pac, Big.
They said 5.
Oh, it said 5. Throw Rakim in there. Shit. And I want who do I want to start that off?
I want Prodigy and Scarface. Actually, I want Prodigy to start and I want Scarface to close. In between, give me Beanie Siegel.
I like that. Because when you said Face, I thought Siegel.
Right, immediately. So give me Prodigy to start. Give me Face to finish. Give me Beans in the middle. I kind of wanted to have some feel to it. Actually, slide Pac in right there. I'd slide Pac right in right there. And give me Pac. Actually, put Pac right before Face because I still want Face to end it.
I changed my mind. You put me in a whole different set. Go ahead.
Right. So I got Prodigy starting off. I got Siegel third. I got Pac fourth. I got Face fifth. Give me You want to know what? The track needs like some sort of switch up. It needs like an outlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like those guys are outliers. And so give me the best MC out the Midwest, and that's Common. I'll take Common. Give me Prodigy, Common, Beanie Siegel, Tupac, and Scarface on the track.
Okay.
Because I feel like also too the Air Force One track kind of killed like the whole head dream thing because it's like Nas, KRS, Rakim. It's like no. I hear the head thing. I was thinking Cool G Rap for a minute, but Cool G Rap's gonna curse too much and say some like extremely violent shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me change this up a little bit. I want to go Chuck D, Pop.
Ooh, yes.
KRS.
Yes.
Ice Cube.
Yes. I like that.
And,
you can put Face right there too. Face would fit right there too.
He possibly would. I wanna make sure
But you want somebody different than somebody I chose. I dig it.
Mm-hmm. And I want Bomb Squad on the beat too, by the way.
Oh, I didn't choose a beat.
Yeah,
I got a dark horse for my beat. I'm gonna tell you who I want to pick my beat.
You want Havoc?
Nope, I want Nasheem Myrick to make the beat.
Okay.
The guy who made Top of New York, the guy who made Who Shot You, the guy who made the original Project Windows for Nas on I Am. Dark horse, Nasheem Myrick, author of Who Shot You and Top of New York.
I want Ice Cube to start the song off. And I want KRS to close. But I still am missing an MC. Do I put Cole in there?
I'm cool with Cole. It needs a little switch up. That's why I put Common in. You need your switch up.
Yeah. Man there with the super chat says, Coop, your hold Kenny's pin too high. He's not Cole.
think it's very comparable. I've held his pen higher than Cole, so I might. You want to know what?
Kendrick needs another album, man. This Kendrick
He does.
slander
I'm gonna
is
tell
too
you
much,
what he did.
man.
I'm gonna tell you exactly. He did this to himself.
Yeah.
When you take time off like this, what I say, I was like, he better deliver for all this time.
DeCarlo says, y'all don't like 25 to 35-year-old rappers. I'm still appalled and how y'all disrespected Joey Badass by comparing him to Biggie unfairly. He is not
I didn't compare him to Biggie. I didn't compare him to Biggie. He sounds uninspired.
Yeah,
he sounds comfortable. Biggie never sounded comfortable. He sounded comfortable behind the mic. He didn't sound comfortable with his place, though. This guy sounds very comfortable with this place. It's a solid.
We know that Joey can do better. That's why we're.
Thank you.
That's
Mike.
the bottom line. I'm a big Joey fan. And
I'm not, and I know he can do better, Mike. I expected more. I'm not the Joey fan that you are, and I expected more. So no.
I expected to have an album that was gonna rock. I don't want to listen to this anymore. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it's a vibe. It's cool, but I think he can do better. He can do better.
Like, how about this, Mike? If I go to like a hookah lounge, which I don't do anymore, and I were like to hear like some of the music in there playing, I'd be like, oh no, this is cool. This is a nice little vibe. It's like,
yeah, right, exactly. Check out this super chat from Ethan Hill. It says, Nas took 6 years off also from 2012 to 2018. Now, what did he do before 2012?
I would like to submit something to you.
What are we doing, man?
No. Who said that? Ethan. I'd like to submit something to you. It's called Illmatic. It was written. God's Son. Stillmatic. Life is Good. Distant Relatives. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Nas came out in 1994.
This is 18 years.
He had like literally a whole 18-year career.
This is 18 years into his career.
18 years into his career.
Now, if Kendrick did that, we wouldn't even be saying
5 years into his career. The man took a break, and it wasn't a 6-year break.
Jay Short with the super chat says, "Is Prodigy Apostles' Warning best verse ever?"
No, Nighttime Vultures.
Our man,
is he asking, is that Prodigy's best verse?
Mm-hmm.
I think Nighttime Vultures is Prodigy's best verse, but I've said that like countless times on this show.
Yeah.
I'm partial to Nighttime Vultures, and I'm partial to any of those verses on Give Up the Goods.
Our man with the super chat says, "Peace. How dope is Kendrick if he gets outshined by Anderson .Paak and John Connor on Dr. Dre's Compton album?"
I'm gonna say less. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, I know we got to get up out of here in a second. Hopefully we got to all the super chats. This was fun, man. We should do a show like this more often. We didn't even get to any of the points that we were going to get to in the, that we discussed offline. I guess that's a whole nother show, but yeah, people kept us busy. LP says, nah, y'all need to chill. K-Dot still topping Cole. He has more classics, more impactful records, and even if you don't like it, morale still making waves. Is it though?
Here's what I will tell you. Is that at no point, I think a lot of people have been running around waiting for this moment to say that Cole is better than Kendrick. Well, you really haven't heard me say that. And that's not what I would do. So here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to let one subpar album, because that's what it is. I'm not going to let one subpar album totally change the conversation.
Yeah.
But what I keep trying to submit to people, and here's where people are right. Well, Cole's been trying to kind of changing the conversation himself with his mic performances and his bar work for the last year, steady. Definitely last year, maybe 2. And so what I would tell you is like, well, if you go take the off season into account, you go take that Dreamville mixtape into account, you go take his guest verses into account. Well, quite frankly, this is the best rhyming that's being done by a rapper that's, I guess, under 35, Cole under 35, right? It's the best rapping being done by a rapper under 35 right now by far, because Conway and Nas and Gibbs are all on the other side of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's literally, for me, is one classic album away from reversing this conversation.
He is. The next album's really important. Nas the GOAT says, give me Nas, Common, Lupe, Mos Def, and Black Thought. I like that mix.
I like that.
LP says, y'all need to do Spaces and let us chat with y'all. That'd be cool. I thought about doing that, Coop.
I thought.
Do like
well, no, I mean,
if
first of all, we are already pressed for time.
Yeah, I know.
But what I would actually say is that for those of you, I mean, you want to talk about the Monday show right quick before we get out?
Go ahead.
I think that's what we should do.
Yeah.
I mean, so a lot of you all have been asking. Mike and I have kind of been trying to find the place, the space, and the time to do it. But we're going to do our first Monday show live on August 14th. A lot of you all have been saying that you want to debate us. First of all, you don't want no smoke with me. I'm going to embarrass you. And second of all, you've been wanting to hear live music. We're going to work out a subscription for 4 shows that you'll be able to get through the According to Hip Hop website. And on those 4 shows, you're going to have our Monday wrap up about whatever news and events, mostly album reviews, but we'll be able to play music. One of the things, and this is what I mean you can look forward to. Well, one of you gave us a super chat last week and said, what's the better verse, AZ on Life's a Bitch or Nas on Verbal Intercourse? Oh, well, we get to put that live and break it down for you on the Monday show. Yeah. So we can get into those type of discourse and dialogue where we can really check the rhyme, check the beat. Part of the rationale for making August 14th our kickoff show is because we have one of the game's best East Coast MCs and West Coast MCs dropping albums on the same day. Black Thought and Danger Mouse are dropping Cheat Codes, and the game is dropping Drillmatic. And so we figure what a better and more appropriate time than to start being able to play music live and break down what we think are going to be 2 of the best rap albums this year. And we like to thank you all for your support and for taking this journey with us. And we hope and pray that you keep on supporting us. We're going to have the subscription links up soon. Just be patient with Mike operations-wise as we get things built out. But for, a small price, and, a lot of you all who are super chatting can kind of just look at it. It's like, well, I might just take my super chat to the subscription and, get 4 extra shows a month that aren't going to be available on YouTube. And I'm just going to be honest with people. YouTube takes 30%.
Man, that would do. Yeah,
they take 30%. When you super chat us, YouTube eats 30% of that immediately.
Right.
Before we see it.
Yep. Man, with the super chat says Beyonce's new album is super trash. Poor,
I'm gonna
pure.
Go listen to it now.
He said, in my opinion, mediocrity. Poor, pure mediocrity, in my opinion. I'm going to go listen to it, too. DeCarlo says, Biggie, Styles P, You Got, Tyler, and Black Thought. Interesting. I wonder who would produce that.
I got one. It's like Big Pun, Cool G Rap, Twista. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tretch. Big Pun, Cool G Rap, Twista, Tretch. Give me one more. Crazy Bone.
Crazy Bone. Okay.
Crazy Bone.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And on that note, man, we out of here, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Great show, man. This was fun. We should do this more often, like I said. We didn't even get to talk our shit. Oh, one more super chat before we get out of here. Somebody said, damn, YouTube is straight gangster. All right, it says, Coop knows that Kendrick Lamar is a treat. K-Dot coming for your top 5. He probably meant threat. K-Dot's great. He needs another album, man.
You need to come back to back. But I do want to say this too. Hey, can we at least shout out Wiz right quick? Because here's the real conversation. Let's talk about the conversation we want to have. And here's something to leave people with. Can y'all tell me outside of Mary and Jay-Z how Beyonce has contributed to hip hop culture to a degree that every rapper in the summer of a great rap year is scared to drop on this day? Because that's what just happened. We're sitting up here having an open-ended show because there wasn't any music to really review outside of Wiz dropping his album because everybody cleared the decks for Beyonce. Mm-hmm. Beyonce's following isn't even like a base of a hip-hop following. I'm going to say what somebody told me behind the scenes. It's mostly black women and gay black men. And that's really not the main audience for people who buy hip-hop records or even the people that follow this. And I know it kind of crosses over. And we're accepting of everybody and everything. But while everybody is actually giving their personal takes on this album, I want people to actually think about what is Beyonce's place in this hip-hop space. She doesn't do features for your favorite rappers like a Mary J. Blige or a Faith.
Or even Mariah Carey.
Or even Mariah got more work in the hip-hop game than Beyonce did. She got Old Dirty Bastard on Fantasy. She got The Locks.
She got Nas. Mobb Deep, Method Man and Redman.
Think about it. Think about this. She got The Locks, Old Dirty Bastard, Nas, Jay, Mobb Deep. Now, who has Beyonce worked with in the hip-hop sphere outside of Slim Thug that doesn't say Jay-Z on it? I guess what? Does Wayne and T.I. count for Destiny's Child on?
Well, that was
that's
Destiny's
not solo
Child.
shit.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so, like, when people are talking about her in the space, we just need to start auditing these spaces. Probably understand it's like, well, she really doesn't even belong to hip hop culture like that, and it shows in the music. She's not a part of fabric of this hip hop culture for the last 20 years outside of who she's married to, and that's okay. But on a day where she drops and literally no hip hop artists are dropping because they're worried about they're going to be affected, it's like, fam, the person that's listening to her album is not about to really affect your sales because she ain't really in here like that, and that's the weight that her man has in the game.
And then you got Questlove out here calling her album off the wall. Cut it out. LP with the super chat says, then this is my last super chat, LOL. Cash app, LOL? Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Look, he talking about that album's off the wall. No, that nigga on the ski slopes. You feel me? Right.
Ethan Hill says, the U.S. Census says that Virginia and D.C. are considered the South. So I think both top 25 MCs lists are wrong.
Sounds like Pusha T's making that list. All right.
Well, who in DC should have made the list? Wale? All right.
Wale? Yeah. No. We'll slide Wale in. No. Wale's top 25 to me if he's considered Southern.
All right. Well, we're gonna holler at y'all Wednesday. Y'all have a great weekend, and it'll be more details on the page. Follow According to Hip Hop. Subscribe to the page. Follow Coop on Twitter. I know y'all want to go back and forth. I need to go ahead and get me a Twitter so I can jump back and forth as well.
You do. Hold on. Follow me on Instagram too. You get to see how I'm really living. A lot of y'all think that it's a game. It's like, no. I'll be like what I talk like on here. It's like, no. I talk live actively in my life afterwards. Follow me on IG.
What's your IG?
Colin Damar. Where it is everywhere. My name is Armad Colin Damar Cooper. When it's like Colin Damar popping up, it's like, no, that ain't no like super fancy writer name. That's the name my mama gave me. You know, my name's Armad Colin Damar Cooper. Colin Damar. Yeah.
All right.